School. Time Warner Communications Sports presents a semifinal matchup in the Red Oaks Farms Junior Global Football Championships as Team Europe gets set to tee it up against Team USA for the right to play in Saturday's championship game. Hello again, everyone. Brian Ungst here, along with Brian Syracuse and Eric Keaton, welcoming you to Clearwater High School for a semifinal matchup in the Global Junior Football Championships between Team USA and Team Europe. Eric, Team Europe has players from 10 different countries, and they have a 2-3 record so far in this tournament over the years.
Well, Brian, they may be from 10 different countries, but they all speak the universal language of football. Head coach Tony Allen has a lot of experience. He's been here for 5 seasons in a row. They won it a couple of years ago, and they're ready to play some football tonight. And the winner will face Team Canada.
One of the players we'll feature for them is their quarterback, an athletic quarterback, and Dennis Zimmerman.
Dennis Zimmerman has a lot of playing experience. He actually played high school football in Baltimore, the home of the AFC champion Ravens. Dennis Zimmerman will start tonight for Team Europe, but according to the rules, they have to play the second-string quarterback. He is Chris Free out of Sweden, but Zimmerman will get the majority of playing time.
It's a pretty big football team. You take a look at Pascal Matla, who goes in about 330 pounds.
Pascal Matla should be playing on Sunday. 6'5", 330 pounds. He plays right tackle. Look for them to run the football to the right side behind the big guy.
Team USA, Brian, is made up of Pinellas County All-Stars. We've seen a lot of these guys over the years. Sam Roper, the successful coach at Seminole High, will be their head coach tonight.
Well, you got to put together a team. You see their 1-1 record. Well, that was the team from Atlanta that put the 1-1 record. There's a different team. Got a lot of athletes out there. Big up front. There's going to be an exciting football team to watch.
Well, one of the athletes going to North Carolina State is the great quarterback out of CCC, Jay Davis.
Well, Jay Davis, he has the luxury of his dad being the coach here and doing the offense. And he's in a familiar system. He's going to be very comfortable out there. He'll be able to get the ball to the weapons.
Now, a player that did not play in the Palms Pinellas game, but playing this evening, defensive end from Countryside High School, Brandon Rotmeyer.
Brandon Rotmeyer, what a fun guy this guy is. Got a lot of quickness. Guy's going to be going up against the big guy, Matla. It's going to be a great matchup. You're going to see his ability to come off the football. That is going to be something exciting. See if he can run around the big boy.
Well, that will be power against speed in that matchup, and we'll see whether that is the theme for this contest. We'll have Team USA teeing it up against Team Europe coming your way next, right here on Time Warner Communications. Welcome back to Clearwater High School semifinal matchup in the Red Oak Farms Junior Global Football Championships. Brian Ungst back along with Brian Syracuse and Eric Keaton. And we're going to get set for the kickoff here shortly, and we're actually going to have the opening coin toss, guys. And Eric, why don't you sat on the rules competition, rules meeting the other night. Why don't you talk about some of the special rules for tonight's contest?
Well, one of the most special rules is something I touched on earlier, the quarterback situation. Both teams have to use both quarterbacks. Jay Davis will get the nod for Team USA, then Achilles Houlis will play the second quarter. Then for Team Europe, Zimmerman will start, and then Sweden's Chris Free will come in. That's the biggest rule. Everybody has to play, especially that quarterback.
Okay, the captains now at midfield, Danielle Williams, Jay Davis, Melvin Teert, and Brandon Rotmeyer representing.
Big game tonight, okay. Team
go
USA,
down to
you're
Phil
the
Kelly,
home team.
the
Team
referee.
Europe, you're the visitors. You're going to be able to call the coin toss. This is the coin. This is a heads right here, gentlemen. This is a heads. This is a heads. This is a tails. It is a tails. Team Europe, what do you want? Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads. Heads is what he's called. I'm going to flip it, whatever it calls. It's heads.
Take the ball.
Okay. You want to receive, I take it. Okay. Team USA, you got second half choice. Which way do you want to kick?
This way.
I want to kick this way. This is what we need to do so we look real good. Team USA, I want you to move right alongside me and face them. Team Europe. Okay.
Officials for tonight's contest, the referee is Philip Kelly, the umpire Keith Baxter, the linesman is Rob Robbins, the line judge is David Barber, the side judge Todd Swenson, the field judge is Dan Wharton, and the back judge Mike Billeris, the electric clock operator up in the press box is Brian Baxter. So folks that we've seen officiate always do an outstanding job. Coaches for tonight's contest, on the far sideline Tony Allen. On this side, Sam Roper. Outstanding seasons the last couple of years at Seminole High School, undefeated until he ran into the Bradenton Southeast team led by Adrian McPherson. game we broadcast. And Brandon Rottmeyer heading to Tulane, getting set to run down on kick coverage. Team Europe has won the toss. They want the football.
And Brian, it's interesting already. We'll get to see a big matchup with Brandon Rottmeyer heading to Tulane, taking on the right tackle Pascal Matla, who may head to Louisiana Tech. So we could see the beginning of a great matchup in the state of Louisiana.
Yes, we could. And Rottmeyer, as you know, this year played a lot of offensive and defensive tackle. He'll be back out probably in his more natural position at the defensive end this evening and see whether he can. There's the kicker. That's Brian Jack kicking off.
Brian Jack got picked up last night, came in, great leg, probably be able to kick this one all the way into the end zone.
And the NCAA rules meaning he will kick off from the 35.
Danny Shea unable to go at the last moment. This time he squibs it, however. It's going to be picked up by number 81, Marcel Doof. And he's got a big hole up across the 30. Finally run down hard. Aggressive tackle by Marvin Elliott out of Seminole. Spins him down at about the 32.
Maybe a little bit of nerves for Brian Jack there as he squibbed that one. Of course, he can reach the end zone and beyond for Team USA.
Quarterback is Dennis Zimmerman. Good athletic quarterback, also listed as a defensive back, but he'll take a lot of snaps this evening. And we have a dead ball infraction, or we're going to have the officials just set the chains. We'll be set. We'll take a look at the European offense after this first play. Backs are in the I formation with the receiver to either side. Give the ball to the tailback off the left side and run down Brandon Rottmeyer with the first hit. We talked about the speed and he showed it right there, Eric.
And they ran to the right side as expected, but Rottmeyer there breaking through that European offensive line. The offense tonight, of course, Dennis Zimmerman. The quarterback for Team Europe, and he'll have Johan Winberg as his running back, Dominic Gass, the fullback, Marcel Doof, the wide receiver, Andrew Boyle out of Great Britain, and T. Steffen, the tight end, and UConn is getting a good look at him.
And running it off the right side again, and not much there, a couple of yards. It's going to be third down and long.
Up front, the lineman for Team Europe. Pascal Matla, the right tackle, the right guard, Bastian Schober, the center, is Alexander Simanchev out of Russia, the left guard, Patrick Schmidt, and the left tackle, Mark Sainsbury.
Third down, we'll call it 8. Again, the backs are in the I formation. Receiver to either side for Dennis Zimmerman. Zimmerman, quick drop, firing underneath, has his receiver, but he's going to be hit shy of the first down. He hooks up with Marcel Doof, but he is tackled immediately on a quick hookup, and good convergence there by the defense.
Outside, you're going to see Wesser coming up and making a good stop on that. A 3 and out, that's what the U.S. was looking for. A couple of runs early and coming on to the outside, and Wesser from his linebacker spot coming in there. U.S. kept them in front of him. That's what they needed to do.
Europe back to punt. Andrew Boyle, the punter. High kick coming down to number 3, Freddie Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks with some room, and now he's run down at about the 39. Pretty good downfield coverage. First man in there making the hit was 57, Russell Goodall out of England. Goes 6'1" and about 240. Russell Goodall.
A little explosiveness of Freddie Middlebrooks. He did a lot of running with the football over at Gibbs.
Oh, there's Jay Davis, the record-setting quarterback out of Clearwater Central Catholic, headed to North Carolina State. 6'3", 195.
I say they come out throwing.
Well, he's got a slot to the short side. Backs are in the I formation. Steady's going to toss the ball. This is Andre Hall from Dixie, and Andre Hall gets a couple of yards as the European defense ran the ball very well.
How quick I forget they have the leading Pinellas County rusher on the team.
The offensive unit for Team USA. Andre Hall, the running back out of Dixie Highlands. Billy Henderson, running back out of Pinellas Park. Danielle Williams playing wide receiver. Jack of all trades out of Seminole. Corey Burrows from Tarpon Springs at a wide receiver. And Charles Driver, the tight end, also from Tarpon Springs. There's an injury on the field. Looks like the far side, can't quite tell.
Team
It's a European player down after that first play, so we'll go through maybe the rest of the offensive unit here for Team USA. While we have the injury, look at Jay Davis and his teammates huddled up in the blue jerseys. Take a look now at the offensive front for Team USA. Glenn Lee from Clearwater High School. Chris Carruthers, also from Clearwater High School. Ryan Bordeaux out of Seminole High. From Dunedin, we have Jeff Feinhirsch. And from Clearwater Central Catholic, Mike Caprat.
Mike Caprat was pretty much the guard for Jay Davis for all 6,000 of those yards he put up in his career. Jay would have probably put up a few more, but he got an injury last year running a little bit of an option. I think that might have been the last option that Coach Davis let him run.
The history of the global football, Junior Global Football Championships, the Mexican team successful.
In the first 3 years, it was just 2 teams, Europe and Mexico, and finally Europe broke through and got a championship a couple seasons ago. It wasn't until last year there was a 4-team tournament. Europe won against Panama, and then Canada beat the U.S., and we see now the injury is Robert Koster, the defensive back out of Germany.
6'3", 215, good size. Looked like he had an ankle or a leg injury. Hopefully they'll work it out, and he'll be back into the contest. 2nd down and 7, split the backs. Jay Davis going to swing the ball out this way and overthrown, trying to get it out to Danielle Williams. It'll be 3rd and 7.
This is nice defensive pressure from number 5, Marcus Mutz, coming from his defensive back position. Defensively for Team Europe, the lineman up front, Mikael Anderson, Sergei Berezhnyuk out of Germany, Jeffrey Amani, the other defensive tackle, and Milan Misic.
Davis under center, 3rd down and 7. With time firing behind Danielle Williams. Pretty good coverage, but plenty of time for Davis, and they just didn't hook up because Danielle hooked over the middle, and Davis expected him to bounce it a little bit to the outside. It'll be 4th down and 7, and a punting situation coming up for Team USA.
We're going to take a look here. Jay Davis drops back, and before the game, we were watching him out there on that field. Eric and I were walking out there, and that ball was wet. The field was wet, and they could not get their footing, especially the U.S. wide receivers.
Brian Jack on to punt. Deep man, number 81, Micah Marcel Duth, Germany. High punt, hitting at about the 20. Duth lets it go. Now he's going to touch it. Big mistake. It's a loose ball. I think Team USA may have got it. Let's see. Or did the Europeans recover? No, Team USA comes up with a Duth, showing inexperience right there. He tried to pick it up after he let it bounce, and that is always a disaster waiting to happen.
Well, Duke was here last year in Atlanta. He was a little bit frustrated. He said it was cold out there, couldn't handle the football. He dropped some balls he didn't want. This one just made a poor decision and trying to make a play. I think he said last year he was nervous. This year trying to make a play early and really costed his team big time.
Melvin Tyrrell comes up with the recovery, but guys, give a lot of credit to Brian Jack, just called upon to punt the football. He put it very high up there and really confused Duke to what he wanted to do.
Aki Hulis in now, quarterback. The tailback is Billy Henderson, going to cut back, counter, cut back, inside the 10, touchdown! Billy Henderson, great cutback on a well-designed play. He's going to take it in from about 9 yards out for the first score of the contest.
We'll take a look here. Achilles Hulis doing his job. He's pitching the football. Billy Henderson is just an unbelievable talent. The guy has so much speed. Touched the ball only about 10 times at Pinellas Park in the running back position. Should have touched it about 200 times every game. The guy just makes plays, and he's been so much fun to watch, especially in Palms Pinellas and now tonight early.
Brian Jack out of the hold of Achilles Hulis. Kick is blocked. Low kick. It is blocked.
They can return it.
They're going to try to pick it up now. This is number 10, Billy Henderson, who just scored a touchdown. He's exciting, but he's got a lot of defenders to run through. A late flag comes down back at the 15, so let's see what happens here as referee Philip Kelly will have to sort this out for us.
Well, regardless of whether he would have taken it in or not, one of the rules of this tournament is that on a muffed PAT attempt, it would only be 1 point. But it is a live football, and with NCAA rules, they could return it for 2.
They're going to wave it off. No flag, so Eric straightens it out. It would not have been a 2-point conversion, a 1-point conversion, but we'll take a break. 6-0 with 8:53 left in the first quarter. Team USA strikes first via the 9-yard run by Billy Henderson. others. Billy Henderson, 5'11", 180 out of Pinellas Park. As Brian Syracuse has said, he would have liked to touch the ball more. We saw him in the one game very frustrated. I think that was against Seminole, Brian, where he touched the ball a lot, but the Warhawks' great defense just didn't give him any breathing room in that game.
So that time he was he didn't really, I guess you have to say he was outmanned. Billy Henderson right now undecided in the colleges, but this is a guy that's really got to be scooped up by somebody. And more time he gets on air like this, the better his chances are going to be.
Dual sport athlete, also wrestles for Pinellas Park, but he's serving his country now, I guess you could say, coming out here and playing for Team USA.
Covered 9 yards in 5 seconds in a well-designed, looked like a counter toss where they sent the action going to the outside. He just broke it back up across the middle, through a huge hole opened up by that tough offensive line of Mike Caprott, Jeff Feinhersh, Ryan Bordeaux, Chris Carruthers, and Glenn Lee.
And also at Pinellas Park, he had a very young offensive line, and that really hurt his chances and hurt his ability to go up against that tough Seminole D.
That's a good point, Brian, because that was a team that's probably going to see better years coming forward, especially in the offensive. That time, Brian Jack with a good kick. Coming down at about the 5-yard line. This is 33 on the return. Johan Wenberg, who is one of the tailbacks, and he takes it up to about the 20, maybe just across the 20-yard line.
Another tackle out there made by Marvin Elliott. I see Jack got a hold of that one, and Rottmeyer and Wes Erb almost cleaned the returner's clock when he came up.
The defensive unit for USA.
We're going to start up front. The guy we've talked about, the guy that made the first play of the game for the defense, Brandon Rottmeyer out of Countryside High School. Next to him is big man Ryan Wyatt and Larry Allison from St. Pete, just a ginormous guy up front, and Quez Gully from the undefeated Seminole Warhawks.
We had a dead ball infraction before that snap. Looks like it's going to be a 5-yard mark off for offside or encroachment against Team USA.
We already saw a substitution up front.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
No, they're going to say
5-yard
false
penalty
start.
remains first down.
Well, remember, we are playing NCAA rules, so when you had Jacques St. Ville jump off sides, he was able to get back on, but that caused Pascal Matla to come up out of his stance, and therefore, that's the false start.
Of course, in high school football here, you get in the neutral zone, and it's automatic dead ball infraction. Straight back to pass is Zimmerman, going to fire on an out pattern, has a receiver over here, and crushed is number 85, Hugo Solo out of Spain. Welcome to Clearwater High and Team USA.
Solo, a very young receiver, playing in his first global championship. His brother has been here a couple of times, but he thought he had his feet. He thought he was getting ready to go out of bounds.
The rest of the defense for Team USA, we're going to start off with an independent Wes Erb out of Admiral Farragut. A guy very familiar to Time Warner and a little wink from Vinny Capona. Melvin Teart out of Dixie Hollins. Freddie Middlebrooks saw him earlier on the punt return. Sam Smith, a talent out of Pinellas Park. Omar Lawrence on his way to UCF. And Mike Williams, the strong hitting safety.
Well, there was Brandon Rottmeyer again with great penetration and dumping the running back for a loss. And there is a Team USA player down right now. Next, Wyatt is the man down. Ryan Wyatt, Harbor University High, playing at defensive line, 6'4", 230. Had a solid senior year. Mike June doing a nice job with that team, gentlemen. I expect them, with the numbers of kids they can get up at that school, it's a pretty big school, to get that program bouncing back.
Well, Mike June is a fire eater. I mean, you go out there and he's a wrestling coach that went over to the football. He had the wrestling team for the past couple of years, gave it up this year to Bill Perry, and just one of those guys that really get the guys going. Eric, you were out there in the preseason.
Here's a replay, and watch Rottmeyer just run right by. He had some help there. Underneath was another player that was 32, Melvin Teart. And so two pretty good football players right there, guys. Double team on a tackle.
Well, you see Rottmeyer, he just takes that inside move and has a slant and goes right into the ball carrier. And Teart just cutting him from down low. They get, you get him high, I get him low. And Rottmeyer has not played football in a while. Remember, he did not play in the Palms of Pinellas All-Star Classic. So it's been more than a month since he's been out here. And Brian, you talked to him. He was so excited not only to get back on the football field, but to put on number 99 with the red, white, and blue.
Oh, it was just amazing to see. And you see good news for the U.S. You don't want to ever see anybody get injured on either team. Ryan Wyatt walking off the team, but off the field. But Brandon Rottmeyer just ear-to-ear smile saying, I was so happy. I could not stop smiling when they said you're going to be able to wear the The red, white, and blue of the USA.
Good kid. Didn't play in the Pinellas because he had a scholarship and wanted to give somebody else an opportunity, but did not want to miss this game. There's a toss and not getting outside the running back, and it's going to set up a 4th down and short. And again, good team defense, good speed there, running to the football. 33 Sam Smith from Pinellas Park was one of the first men over there for Team USA.
He just closed in a hurry. That play might have caught the Team USA team off guard. They were not set in their defensive stand, and they take it out wide. And watch the pursuit right here by number 33. Measuring up, goes around the blockers, and just drives the ball carrier back.
Jacques St. Ville had good pursuit from the linebacker. Just missed the tackle, but turned him back right into the man who made the play, Sam Smith. Freddie Middlebrooks, the deep man, the punt coming away from Andrew Boyle. Line drive, Middlebrooks maybe with some room, gets a block. Now it's going to be called an illegal block, so this one will come back. And again, pretty good downfield coverage by Team Europe, showing some decent speed getting down there on the special teams. 57, Russell Goodall, again, one of the first men in there. Had help from Thomas Knock out of Germany, and also 34, Bjorn Dreyer from Germany.
That play looked like it was made by number 32, Bastian Moeller. Really, he's the first one that got in there on Freddie Middlebrooks and really caused the illegal block.
Well, they called it a hold, but it's clearly a block in the back right there. I mean, that's the old adage, you know, if you can't see his eyes and you can read the back of the name, or at least see Team Europe on the back, do not touch him. And that time, Nelson Walker just could not hold back the effort. That's going to cause Team USA to start way in their own end. They'll have to drive instead of getting that fumble as they did last time on 5.
They lost about 20, 25 yards in that exchange after the return by Middlebrooks. And quarterback is Jay Davis. He's got Henderson and Eric Connor split in the backfield with a slot down to the wide side or the left side of the formation.
Here, wait and get those chains set again.
And the ball off. Eric Connor is going to take it and finds a little seam, bouncing it out across the 20 to about the 23.
They talking about how much game means to these people. Eric Hunter could barely walk when we were over at the practice and we were shooting video, and he was really limping. And here you see him going up the middle. Eric Hunter had a huge year towards the end of the year. Eric really turned it up a notch, big numbers, and became the big game hunter.
I believe he scored 7 touchdowns in the final 3 games, a lot of that including in the state playoff run.
2nd and 2, short side toss. Billy Henderson makes a cut. Billy Henderson for first down yards. The quickness of the running backs, finding a little bit of a seam by the offensive front and the lead blockers, and trying out for some nice gains early in the contest. That'll move the chains out near the 30.
This is a great combination when you can have Eric Hunter and Billy Henderson. They both love to block. They both love contact. And then you can see the balance by Billy Henderson staying on his feet. They both, Henderson and also Hunter, show great balance.
Straight up the middle. Nothing there that time. Good interior defense from Team Europe. And number 10, one of the first men in there, was Mikael Andersson from Sweden. A defensive lineman from Sweden at 6'2", 215.
Also, Sergei Berezhniak also imploded that play as he ran into the blocker, and Tony Allen's defense finally coming up with a big stop on the ground.
2nd down to 10. No gain on the play. Maybe lost about a half yard. Jay Davis looks like maybe he wants to go from the shotgun. Now he'll go under center. Send a slot to the right. Split the backs behind him. Straight back, quick drop. Going to get it out to Eddie Meyer. Eddie Meyer with a big pop coming from the secondary. Meyer, a diminutive player, and he got his clock cleaned that time.
That's the type of pass that Meyer will catch, the underneath route. He can catch it and turn it up the field. This time, just 2 European defensemen out there reading the play, and Meyer's not a very big receiver, and he gets knocked backward. They will give him forward progress for a couple of yards. Marvin Alla there for Team Europe out of Great Britain.
3rd and 7, I am just told that there is no shotgun allowed in this game, so you will not see the quarterback back in the shotgun. Davis straight back from center. Going to swing it out, dump it off to the running back, slipping and falling. And Eric talked earlier about the field being a little slick as he got it out to Billy Henderson, and Billy tried to make a cut, lost his footing. It'll be 4th and 10 in a punting situation for Team USA.
Well, you see a little swing out. Davis is good about reading his progressions. Didn't see anything downfield. Get it to your playmaker, Billy Henderson. He was not going to go anywhere, though. He had 2 people out there. and you saw the footing problems.
Well, guys, except for the turnover, the unfortunate turnover by Marcel Diouf, this game's been pretty even. The European teams played pretty solid defense against a decent offensive unit from Team USA. High snap and getting it out of there. Brian Jack. This time Diouf didn't call fair catch and just let it roll. He's giving the kicker way too much room. Now he's going to fall. I don't know what he's doing. This time he gets it at the 21, but I think he thought Ray Guy was punting. He gave him about
He let it roll.
Yeah,
it's a 49-yard punt unofficially, and he's giving him room like he is Ray Guy back there. Maybe
the coaching staff, I'm sure, will move him up after this.
Maybe he thinks it's the XFL, 30 yards down the field, and it's a live ball, but he's got to learn to get away from that football.
Well, hopefully those nerves are starting to dissipate for him, because he is an excellent football player for Team Europe, and we get to see the best of him tonight.
He'll come out as a receiver. Remaining in a quarterback is Dennis Zimmerman. Having an offset eye in the backfield. Straight back short drop. Going to be sacked. Coming hard. Looked like 54. Chris Fairchild making the first hit.
See
who that was.
Looked like they got off the ball slow, the Team Europe.
85
coming up.
Gully, excuse me, Brian. Because Gully making that sack, and the quickness there. Not a big defensive end, guys. We saw that all year from him at Seminole High School. He ran the ball from running back position. He's playing defensive end, and that's why he's just so quick.
He is, and he just makes plays. He's one of those guys that you say, well, look at him. He's not going to be able to do it, but he gets out there, he makes plays. And another guy that's just thankful to be here.
2nd and 15, waiting for that toss. 33, Winberg. Winberg with a little bit of room, gets some of the yardage back and out across the 25. So a nice run that time by the 5'7", 165-pound running back out of Sweden.
Quickly to go back to Gully, when I was talking to him before the game, we're going to take a look at the run here first. Winberg getting around the edge and getting there, nice cut up, and again footing. Another problem, but he did well turning it over.
Winberg kept his feet.
Yeah, he did enough. And going back to Gully, I didn't have the heart to tell him. I think he thinks they win tickets to the Super Bowl if they win this game, and he was so excited about it. I didn't want to be the one to break it to him that you don't get Super Bowl tickets if you win it.
It's a tough ticket this year, especially, guys. There's a dead ball infraction. A little substitution, apparently. Before Kelly giving us the indication.
And that's a bad penalty, obviously, for Team Europe, because they're in a 3rd down and 5, a 3rd down and 6, a makeable 3rd down. Now they're back in 3rd down and 10, long yardage situation, and that means the dogs will be released for Team USA.
Well, it's one of the things we talked about coming into the game, Eric, before this, is about the fact that with all these guys, 10 different countries, only a couple of weeks to prepare for this game, you're going to have problems like that, and it's just something that's going to happen. You just are going to have to really work through those problems and make up for some long 3rd downs, long 2nd downs.
And instead of 3rd down and 5 after the nice run by Winberg, it's going to be 3rd down and 10, and timeout on the field. 2:45 remaining in the first quarter. Team USA holding on to the 6-0 lead after a fumbled punt. First play from scrimmage, Billy Henderson took a toss, a counter toss, and took it up the middle 9 yards for the Team USA touchdown. The extra point was blocked. And that's where we stand with just under 3 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Nice looking crowd here at Clearwater High School. Of course, this is a Wednesday night game, and I expect for the championship, the winner of this going on to play Team Canada on a Saturday night, and this being a Super Bowl event, the only international sanctioned Super Bowl event by the NFL. We'll have a lot more folks out here on both sides.
We should. 3rd down and 10. Straight back Zimmerman looking for the screen over the middle. Has a big receiver over there, the tight end, and he's going to be tripped up just before he gets the 1st down yardage. So well-designed play, but pretty good defense by Team USA as T. Steffen out of Holland. 6'4", 225 Dutchman on the reception that time.
And T. Steffen, here's a guy that's being looked at by the University of Connecticut, UConn. Coach was up there, Randy Edsel, taking a look at him this week, and that's a great play because Tony Allen knows that the guys in blue are coming after him, and instead of going back and dropping back to pass, they throw the screen play.
Andrew Boyle on 4th and 3, going to punt it away. Freddie Middlebrooks, nice spiraling punt. Middlebrooks takes it, it's 32. Middlebrooks with a little room, going to try to bounce it now back up the middle, and a marker is down back where the initial reception was made after a very nice return across midfield, but unfortunately, this one is coming back again on the special teams against Team USA.
Eric, you talked about it. If you see the numbers, don't be clipping them in the back. And especially with a guy like Freddie Middlebrooks. He's just such a fun guy to watch. We saw him as a running back all year, having the ability to break tackles, make people miss. Let the guy have the chance.
How many times we talked to Coach Marciano over there at the Bucks, and that's the first thing out of his mouth. What do you guys want to talk about? Clipping, holding?
And you see here, just his ability to make people miss. That was a clean block coming back, Omar Lawrence, and then just put him in the open field. And the guy is just fun to watch. And you know, Marciano, he was scratching his head. He had young guys, and he said there were young mistakes. There you see Omar's block again, but you know, Freddie Middlebrooks just dancing around in there, and Team Europe staying with it, and now he got to the line of the big boys on the line coming up there, and he took a nice little shot.
Polis back in a quarterback. An offset eye, going to run a little counter action to the fullback, and nothing there. Barely getting back to the line of scrimmage. 44 on the carries. Adam Gorman out of St. Pete Catholic, 6'2", 210-pound fullback, had an outstanding year this year for the Barons.
Brian, was talking yesterday to Adam Gorman, and of course he playing with the St. Pete Catholic Barons, and of course now running behind some blockers from the CCC Marauders, and that's the big rivalry here in the private school sector. And I said, it's kind of like dogs and cats living together, huh? How are you guys getting along? And he said, we're adjusting well. We now have one goal, and that's to win the global championship. But he kind of laughed at the question.
That's a good rivalry. A good strong rivalry. They respect each other. Poulos on the play action with some time. Got to fire it deep down the middle. It's going to be dropped. Two receivers moving into the ball as one of them was 22, Danielle Williams. The other was Solomon Johnson out of Pinellas Park, and it looked like it went off of Solomon Johnson.
Looked like Danielle is reverting back to his D-back days here. He comes over, and Solomon Johnson, they're both just going for the football, and he's the one that knocked it away from Solomon Johnson. We saw Solomon Johnson and Palms Pinellas, great hands, and Danielle Williams, you can't blame the guy. He made plays all year long, and game time was dubbed by Eric, and I mean, just a fun guy to watch play football, and they were both trying to make a play. You just don't like to see the two receivers in the same area like that.
3rd and 10, two receivers out here in the slot, split the backs behind Achilles Poulos. Straight back with time, going to step up, fire underneath, has his tight end Corey Burrows, excuse me. That is Corey Burrows, the wide receiver from Tarpon. So his teammate from Tarpon, Corey Burrows, gets it out to about the 47-yard line, the well-thrown hook pattern that time.
Well, here's the guy that nobody's heard about in Pinellas County, Corey Burrows, in his first year playing high school football due to eligibility. So that's a good rule of thumb out there for all you kids to be a good studious guy in the classroom. But Corey Burrows didn't see him in the palms of Pinellas, and he's out here catching passes from his teammate.
1st and 10 from the 47, going to take the ball this way, trying to get outside, nothing there. They still on his feet, or now they're going to say he was down. 17 on the carry is Andre Hall from Dixie.
Another guy,
a couple yards.
Sorry, Brian. Another guy we saw with academic problems, got him back, got him straight, had a great year, and actually still a junior this year. He's going to be coming back to Dixie Hollins next year, but playing out here because it was his last year of eligibility. But you know, you like to see the guys get back in there, do the work. You know, if you mess up early, you still have a chance. And Andre Hall made the most of it as well as Corey Burrows.
And hopefully he'll graduate next year and then be able to move on and play college football. Short side toss or handoff, make that to Gorman. Gorman hit hard. This European team is aggressively going to the football, and they are hard hitters.
Quick to the ball, Emmanuel Ndambi. And this guy out of France was one of the leading tacklers during the European campaign this season. He just proved, wow, great pursuit to the football.
Well, Gorman's not going to avoid contact either, and you saw Ndambi there, just major contact, and Gorman likes to try to run over people. He doesn't run around people, and Ndambi will really enjoy that.
That was the final play of the first quarter with the score Team USA 6, Team Europe nothing. We'll take a break and be back with second quarter action. You are watching the Red Oaks Farm Global Junior Football Championship semifinal matchup from Clearwater High. head back for second quarter action. 3rd down and 7 for Team USA right from midfield, leading at 6-0. Brian Unks, Brian Syracuse, Eric Keaton back with you. Semifinal matchup, Team USA, Team Europe. Poulos going to fire, and he's going to hook up again. This time he's going to have his tight end, Charles Driver, out of Tarpon to the 40-yard line. That is enough to move the chains for yet another first down. And this guy continues to impress me with the velocity and accuracy. When he has to throw it hard and get it in there, he does it.
Well, this is what he does well in rolling out with the football. He throws very well on the run, directs his teammate, says, hey, Charles, right there, find the hole in the defense, and I'll hit you with the pass.
Either he's going to catch it or he's going to have a hole in his stomach when Achilles is throwing the football. And you like to see that, put it in there, and get it there.
What I want to know is Achilles the guy who made out our roster? It says here 6'4", 180. Achilles not quite that tall. He's about 6 foot. Got a little counter action here. Hall is going to take it inside the 35. And finally be spun down at about the 33. That's a gain of about 7 on first down.
We took care of that, Brian. We went into doing the headshots. We looked, I said 6'4". He's not 6'4". But here's another small guy that can make plays, Andre Hall. Nice little stutter step there, and you could see just the ability to make people miss, get him in there, and still a little guy, but he's fighting every time for the extra yard.
Good speed, good quickness, strong legs, and a nice smile. Doesn't have his game face. I like to see that, guys. They're having a good time. There's timeout on the field. Looks like maybe a European player with an equipment problem. We're going to have a substitution from the far sideline just into the second quarter of action. Hope you're enjoying Tom Warner's coverage of the Red Oak Farms Junior Global Football Championships here at Clearwater High, the semifinal game. The winner of this will play Team Canada, who beat the Japanese team earlier this evening on Saturday here at Clearwater High.
And Team Japan was very impressive. Lost that ball game 27-8.
Second down and a long 3, straight up the middle is Gorman. He's going to fall forward and be very close to first down yardage, just wedging it forward behind it. Good offensive front. They may not be quite as big as the defensive front, but very good blockers, good feet. You see Gorman there just driving forward also.
Adam Gorman, from his sophomore year, was being recruited by a lot of big-time schools and chose to go to Florida Atlantic University. Just recently signed, and happy to be moving on there.
Emotional player, Adam Gorman.
They're going to bring the chains out to see if it is enough for the first down, right at about the 30-yard line. And it is enough to move the chains, so the USA now putting a drive together. First and 10 from Team Europe 30. Running backs remain Hall at the tailback and Adam Gorman at the fullback position. Achilles Poulos, the quarterback. Receivers Danielle Williams and Solomon Johnson. Poulos on play action. Gonna fire a pattern over there. Danielle Williams at the 10. Danielle Williams, touchdown. Danielle Williams, 30-yard strike. Well thrown ball, laid it in there nicely from Achilles Poulos. That's 6 more to the tally, and Team USA now leads it by the score of 12-0.
You see the spark that Achilles Poulos has when he comes into the huddle and hooking up with a player he wished he would have had on that Tarpon Springs offense, and Danielle Williams. And he just lofted that one in there, and Danielle just ran right by the defensive back, Marcus Mutz, out of Germany. And Mutz had the size on him, 6'1" to about 5'8", but Danielle Williams, as we mentioned all season, game time, knows how to get in the end zone. It's been a while since he's been in the end zone, too.
It really did, and he kind of stepped away for Eric Hunter. Eric Hunter started getting the carries late for Seminole, and we were talking about Achilles saying he's 6'4", Danielle saying he's 5'6", and he might not even be that tall. He might be stretching it a little bit there. You see him just getting behind the defense. He has just the wheels, and Achilles hanging in. He's hanging in there.
To the last second.
He throws it right there.
Well thrown ball over top of the defense, hits him in stride. And how many times have we seen Danielle Williams in the end zone, especially in a Time Warner game of the week?
In several different ways. He does it every way, and offense, defense, special teams, and a great pass there by Achilles Poulos. There's the 5'6", 185.
Yeah, what did I say, 5'8"?
You said 5'8". You're giving him a couple of inches, and he might not even be 5'4", but the guy, he makes plays.
He's a fighter, outstanding athlete. Eric talked about he's a soccer player, does it all over at Seminole High School.
Well, he gave up soccer, and of course he'll be back out on the baseball field. He gave up soccer because he knew about this game, and he wanted to play, and he was our Time Warner Player of the Year. And as Brian mentioned, just did it all. Heck, if almost the injury to Danny Shea, if they wouldn't have been able to get Brian Jack in here to punt, he would have been punting for Team USA.
Team USA leading at 12-0 will go for 2. They took a timeout. Hall now waving. They're one player short. They don't have a fullback, and now they're going to wave Gorman on real quick. Gorman's going to come out there, the slot to the left. They're going to call another timeout. So this will be their second consecutive timeout because they did not have their full complement of players on the field for the 2-point conversion attempt. Here's Coach Davis from Clearwater Central Catholic, good friends with Sam Roper, and he's running the offensive show here this evening.
Loves his offense, Coach Davis, and ability to really, him and Jay Davis have a great bond, father-son, and just calls in the plays. They don't even have to shuffle them in. Achilles Houlis, as we've seen so far, picked up the offense pretty quickly, was with him for Palms Pinellas, did a great job there. And you can tell he's going through his progressions a little bit better today.
And he said, of course, Coach Davis knows a great quarterback. He had one of his son playing for him for 4 years, but he said Achilles Houlis is a good quarterback. Somebody needs to take a look at him in the college level. 2-point conversion coming up. Backs in the I formation. Play action. Houlis got the man wide open. Burrows fires it out there for the easy 2-point conversion. Little counter pass action, and that was Charles Driver. I keep getting the Tarpon Springs players mixed up. That was 87 Charles Driver, the tight end, who broke wide open. 2-point conversion, 14-0. Team USA leads it.
The play action is just holding up Team Europe, and they know what's going to happen, and they just keep getting fooled, going the opposite direction. Here it is again, holds up the line of scrimmage, and wide open, as you said, Charles Driver. You will not see how wide open he is. Well, there you will. He had about 7-8 yards on the defender.
Well, and we've seen familiarity in this game, and you see that a lot with all-star games. If you have somebody that you know that you've played with all season, it just makes sense. Charles Driver was his target all season, along with Roshan Marshall and Corey Burrows, and so he's just come out and he's made a few plays to them and sprinkled in a nice little pass there to Danielle Williams.
The Driver made a great move, guys. He showed a little inside post move, almost ran a little post corner and broke it on a sharp cut right on a dime and just left the European defender there grasping for air, and that's why he was wide open. It was a big-time move from a tight end.
The guy I kind of feel for right now is Brian Jack. Had to kick field goals, or excuse me, PATs all year with Admiral Farragut, and now he's had one block, didn't get a chance there because of the 2-point conversion, so he's just punting and kicking off tonight.
Going to hit another line drive, and it's going to go right under the European player. That was 32, Bastian Moeller. Moeller is going to pick it up and be spun out of bounds inside the 10, so that squib kick giving the Europeans some problems, and that one right under Moeller out of Germany pins them back inside their 10, not where they want to be, trailing at 14-0 with 10-11 left here, second quarter.
And now with that Team USA defense well rested on the sidelines after that drive, getting ready to come into the ball game for more action.
Well, special teams has been a problem early for Team Europe. Put them in some bad field position, gave the U.S. great field position, duffed with a few muff punts, and there you saw Moeller with a mistake letting the ball get by him.
Chris Free now in a quarterback for Team Europe. He'll go straight back, going to fire it out there, and nobody home. There's going to be a flag thrown as the receiver, he's going to run a post pattern. He threw a deep fade, and we may have some kind of pass interference or holding call here.
Contact as the receiver coming off the line of scrimmage.
Little miscommunication, receiver and the quarterback on that play. New quarterback. Maybe got
a bigger quarterback as well.
6'5", 220 out of Sweden. Big guy.
Pass interference on the defense. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
Automatic first down as they'll move it out to the 20 is where the contact took place. Trip receivers. Fire it out this way or that way, make that, and incomplete. And they only had one back and 3 receivers that time.
You see it here. And this quarterback 1A. They don't have They don't have a backup. Chris Free, you see him going back there. Freddie Middlebrooks was looking at the ball. He was fighting with the man out wide. And one of the things Team Europe said coming into this football game is they like their quarterbacks. It's the best they've been, and that they feel good throwing the football down 14-0. That's a good sign for them.
Going to line up in a triple receiver set again. One back. Free straight back. Going to give it a little draw play now as the running back bouncing it to the outside is Winberg, and they will not get to the first down yardage. Just out to about the 25. It will be third down and approximately 5 from there.
With the heat bearing down on Free from Jacques St. Ville from the outside, and he has to watch Winberg take off on a nice little run, get some good yardage to create a third down and short yardage situation, something makeable for Team Europe. Chris Fairchild out of Dunedin chasing him from behind. You can see his war wounds that he had a big bandage on, that he had some face injuries during practice. He's a go-getter for the Falcons.
Bastian Moeller, number 32, the man in at the tailback position. Third down and 5, and Free just throwing it out there. He's getting rid of the ball pretty quick. Maybe the jitters and didn't allow that pattern, not allow it to develop. Falls incomplete. 4th and 5, and another punting situation coming up for Andrew Boyle in the European squad. So Coach Tony Allen cannot quite get much going offensively against this tough, athletic Team USA defense. Freddie Middlebrooks has been a busy man as a return man.
And he's due to break one if somebody doesn't hold a clip.
Low snap, picked up on one half nicely by Boyle. Gets it out of there. Middlebrooks going to let it hit, and it's going to roll. And it's going to roll inside the 30 and roll down to about the 27. It'll be spotted right there where Team USA will put it in play. Leading at 14-0 with 9:05 left here in the second quarter.
Team USA is coming back out. Jay Davis will be running the show. Offense hasn't really moved when he's been in there. The little difference is he's been sitting in the pocket. They've been getting Achilles Hulis outside the pocket. That's what he does a little bit better. It'll be interesting to see if they move Jay. Jay does have the ability. We've seen him in practice rolling out and hitting people in stride.
He's going to have Billy Henderson and Eric Hunter next to him, split the backs. Davis straight back looking for the screen, has Danielle Williams. Williams with some running room. Danielle Williams right up the gut. Look out, Danielle Williams with a lot of speed is going to take this one. That's going to go 73 yards for Team USA. Touchdown. Little slip screen from the flanker position of Danielle Williams. Thought, guys, he could have bounced it to the outside. He saw the seam up the middle, so I'm going to turn the Jets on and just outrun everyone.
Well, good patience by Jay Davis. Let this develop. Held on to the football. Danielle came all the way back to the football. Like you said, he did turn those Jets right on when he saw that seam.
And Brian, how many times have we seen that play out of the CCC playbook with Marcus Edwards during the playoff run, and we just knew it was eventually going to happen, and they picked Danielle Williams to run it. Davis knows how to throw it, and you could just see the play develop and clear out, and Williams with that speed burst it up through the middle.
Brian Jack going to get another attempt. This one is up, and it is through. 8:50 left second quarter. It's all Team USA as they lead it by the score of 21-0. And guys, I think Danielle must have heard you say he hadn't been in the end zone for a while. He made up for it in a hurry. He's been in the end zone twice now in the last minute and a half.
Well,
two plays.
I have the theory. He hasn't received his Time Warner Player of the Year trophy yet. He's already seen the trophy with his name on it, hopefully for Team USA at the end of the tournament here. So that's why he's going out here with all types of authority and getting into the end zone twice.
And this is what we thought may happen, Brian. These are big, aggressive teams from Europe, and the Canadian team looked very good. But have they played against speed like this consistently? And if the USA can take advantage of it, and so far in this first half they have, it's a couple of big plays.
Well, quarterback Dennis Zimmer said, we will not, and we have not seen the speed, the physical ability of the USA, but the number one thing is the quickness, and we just saw it from Danielle Williams, and really that's been the matchup that's given them the problem. Offensive line has done a great job. They were out blocking on that play again. A lot of times we give the credit to the guys that make the numbers. 2 catches, 103 yards, not bad, 2 touchdowns. Guess he could take it. That's pretty much what he had all season, wasn't it?
Yeah, about 6 catches and 119 yards because he did a lot of damage running on the ground.
Brian Jack to kick it deep. Nice high kick. Comes down to the 10-yard line to Winberg, and he has run down Brandon Rottmeyer. See why he's a Division I player, running down there at 6'3", 230 to 240. making the play on a speedy running back receiver.
Well, he's a Cougar, and let me tell you, Joe Ionata's player knows how to pounce. Look at the power. That's what he does. He throws player. I'm surprised he is not into the Cougar system up there wrestling for Coach Frere, because he would be one heck of a, well, they have him, that's a little bit too heavy for Brandon Rottmeyer. He's around 250.
Goes in there between, I guess it depends on the time of year, between 230, 250, as Eric said. Goes up and down a little bit depending on. Straight back is free, going to roll it out, firing it over the middle late, and he's got the big tight end out at the 45. So a successful play as he gets it to 86. Stefan, this big tight end out of Holland.
This is a kid we talked about that UConn was looking at him, and now you can see why. Free throwing very well on the run, and a lot of open space out there for. How can you lose T. Stefan out there?
What I was
so
going to say.
big,
He's
you know,
6'4",
and Lawrence
225.
comes up and finally gets his first action from his safety position.
Well, Lawrence was on skis out there. He saw the play develop. He could not get his footing to get up there, and I don't know if he couldn't get there. He didn't want to come meet Stefan over the middle.
1st and 10 from their own 45 for Team Europe. Triple receivers, one running back. Where he just gets it away before he is planted by 85 DeQuez Gully from the blind side. Again, Gully 6'2", 195, not the biggest guy, but you give him a seam to the quarterback unimpeded, he's going to get there in a hurry.
You're going to see the pressure coming from the outside. Gully getting in there, and the receivers are not getting open because the U.S. are jamming them all up on the line of scrimmage. They're really not letting them get off, and that's slowing up the play, and Gully and Rottmeyer, the guy from the outside, are getting in on the quarterback.
21-0, Team USA leads it. 8 minutes, 7 seconds left, second quarter. Backs in the I formation, trip receivers, counter toss, just throws the ball away, and it's recovered by Rottmeyer. Or is that Rottmeyer? No, it's 98. That's Jason Freisleben, his countryside teammate. And that time there was a miscommunication. It looked like a little counter toss, and the guy they were tossing it to just didn't see the football.
It hit him on the back of the numbers right there.
He wasn't expecting it.
No, Johan Winberg was running out to block, and heads-up play by Freisleben. Hans Freisleben, that's actually his father's name, but Jason, of course, his family hails from Deutschland, from Germany, and he's coming up here big right now for Team USA. A turnover, something that Team Europe just did not need. They needed to use up some of that clock and give that defense a rest.
Well, we saw Freisleben this year in a couple of games running successfully also from the fullback position, fine two-way player, getting a chance to make a play there from the linebacker position. Poulos back in a quarterback, 1st and 10 with plenty of time. Now he's going to run out of time, be sacked from behind. Didn't step up, and making him pay for it was number 40, Dominic Gass, 6'2", number 10, excuse me. Mikael Anderson, 6'2", 215 out of Sweden. Having a hard time reading these numbers from a distance here with this black and yellow jersey.
Well, Brian, this play was going deep the whole way. Team USA was going for the juggler on that play, and if it wasn't for Mikael Anderson, they would have got it, because Achilles was waiting for his receivers to free up downfield, and the secondary played him well, step for step. Nobody underneath to release, nobody to throw the football underneath, so Achilles just had to take the sack.
Second and about 17. High formation behind Poulos. Little counter play, going to give it to Billy Henderson. Billy Henderson back near the original line of scrimmage and hit hard. And that's going to set up about a 3rd down and 9.
Coaster might have gotten in there. We saw him go off the field earlier, but Billy Henderson, a lot of counter plays by the U.S., getting them going the other way, and there you see Coaster going off earlier, then he got bent back there, so staying in there, tough guy, going out there playing some football from Germany, 6'3", 215 pounds, part of the team that won the European Championship.
These guys are flexible.
3rd and 10, slot to the left. Poulos will roll it that way with a little bit of time. Gonna fire it off the fingertips of Solomon Johnson. Another well-thrown ball, and Johnson just could not quite haul that one in. Poulos has been impressive.
Throwing on the run the opposite way, Brian. You know, how many times we said that he likes to emulate his favorite quarterback, Brett Favre, and here he is, just developing. Protection is behind him. Hits Johnson right where he needs to, right in the hands. Ball maybe could have been a little bit low if you're being picky, but Johnson knows I have to come up with it. That's 1st down.
Squared the shoulders nicely. Poulos the up man now on the punt, coming from Brian Jack. Now you can see the inexperience here. The European player is actually standing in the end zone. Let's hope for his team's sake he doesn't feel it from there as he lets it roll through the end zone. He was standing 2 yards deep in the end zone. I think that's the difference really in this game is they just don't. They've got some athletes that can play, but they don't have the fine tune and the years of experience of the special teams that these guys have. Don't quite have the knack for the game.
And Brian, I'm looking down there. You played soccer. I might think that Doof was back there, might be confused by the markings on the field because the soccer lines go right through the end zone, and he may have thought that he was standing right on the end zone line. And
why you always blaming on soccer? Why does everybody have to beat up? Everybody has to beat up soccer
guys. You know, they just don't know what's going on.
There you see, you look at all the lines out on the field, and it's tough. They're not.
Doof thought he was taking a penalty kick. That's what he thought. Thought he was being. Was it Hans Beckenbauer or whatever his name was? Tossed the ball out the other way. This looks like Winberg going around the other side. Johan Winberg turns a corner nicely for a good gain that time by Team Europe.
Lowered his shoulder well, getting around there, getting the extra yardage. And that's something that Team Europe's done pretty well, getting to the corner. And then when it takes time to really get the extra yardage, they're turning it up there and laying the lumber on the U.S. guys coming up.
10-yard gain for a first down to move the chains. So.
Well, that's good to see, Brian, from Tony Allen's crew. They're not abandoning the run. They're going to stick with the football on the ground. They have to include that in their game plan. They just can't drop back and throw anymore with the outside pressure they're getting up front.
Absolutely. 1st and 10, split the backs behind Free. Going to give it on a straight dive play. Not a lot there that time. Picking up a couple of yards. Winberg. Tough for him to run between the tackles at 5'7", 165. He's more of a speedster, a tough kid, but I'm not going to make a living doing that against this Team USA team.
Ryan Wyatt underneath that pile, getting in there. West Irv, you see coming in there. And there's a look at 5'7", 165. Jonathan Winberg.
From Sweden. 2nd down, we'll call it 8. Split the backs, trip receivers. Straight back is Free with some time. He's going to toss it out this way. Throwing off his back foot, and I think he heard DeQuez Gully coming from one side, and Larry Allison from St. Pete, all 280 pounds of him coming from the other side. Just got rid of that one.
He also was throwing, you're going to take a look at here. There's going to be Duff and Solo both in the same area. One of those things we talked about. Guys don't know each other well enough. And Eric, the way they selected these teams and really didn't have enough time together.
No, that's one thing that Coach Allen says you had to overcome. And Coach Ian Breck from Canada as well talked about that. In the short amount of time, they have to come together as a team.
It's always a challenge in these all-star games. 3rd down and 8. Again, split the backs, Free straight back with some time. Going to swing it out this way. Has his receiver Duke, but he's going to be tackled immediately. Running well over there was 33, Sam Smith from Pinellas Park to make the play. And that will be just shy of a 1st down. That'll be 4th and a couple. An apparent punting situation coming up for Team Europe.
Free has a nice touch on throwing the football. See, that time he had a little bit more time to throw. He had a chance to set.
And he trusts his arm throwing that out pattern all the way across the field.
He's throwing the out pattern pretty well tonight.
Got some ability. He's a little fine-tuning, but somebody could look at him at 6'5", 220. And I don't know whether the Team USA player did not get off the field in time. If they didn't, this could be a 1st down for Team Europe. Let's see what referee Philip Kelly tells us. They had a player running off the field.
Dead ball foul. Legal substitution on the defense. 12 men, 5-yard penalty. That makes it a 1st down.
Well, that's one of those all-star game calamities that happens. You've got 12 guys on the field. One tried to get off, and the officials did not allow it. They blew the whistle for an illegal substitution, so that will move the chains. It was only going to be a 4th and 2.
Well, this is a turnover, Brian. I guess you could call it that, and a big turnover for Team Europe because with 4 minutes left, they had plenty of time to take some time off the clock, score some points, even if they just get down in field goal range, take something out of this 1st half. They've given up a big play for a touchdown. They've had a turnover. They gave up 5 yards for a touchdown. So really, they can only look at one long drive where the defense has lapsed. But as of right now, they can get back in this football game knowing that they're only a couple big plays themselves away.
Europe has called a timeout. They realize the importance, as Eric Keaton just mentioned, of this drive. They would like to get on the scoreboard going into the locker room. We'll take a timeout as well. 21-0, Team USA leading it over Team Europe. You're watching the Global Junior Football Championships on Time Warner Communications. Back here at Clearwater High School, semifinal action, Team USA, Team Europe, and the Red Oak Farms Global Junior Football Championship. Danielle Williams scoring 2 touchdowns within 2 offensive plays for Team USA. One a 30-yard reception from Aki Hulis, and the other a 73-yard slip screen from Jay Davis. 21-0 Team USA leads it. Team Europe with a 1st and 10 from their own 41. Free back, throwing into traffic. 33, Sam Smith would have turned around. He may have had himself an interception.
Brian, there's once again, you had 2 receivers in the same spot, just what you were talking about earlier.
Free really likes to get that ball out of there as soon as he gets back. He likes to get the quick steps going, and it was Solo and Stephen standing over there next to each other.
Team Europe did not waste these downs.
Hardest adjustment for a young quarterback is standing in there against good pressure, which he's getting. He just fires it out there again. And he had to that time because he was just dumped as soon as he let it go by Wes Erb out of Admiral Farragut.
I really think a key here is the defense of the U.S. not letting the wide receivers off the line, and that's really messing with his timing. He likes to throw that quick one. Boyle couldn't get off the line. Freddie Middlebrooks was holding in there, and Wes Erb's the guy that got in there and made the pressure. 3rd down and 10.
On the draw play, nothing there. Good initial pressure and cleaning it up. We're 52. That's Jacques Saintville and Larry Allison, 64.
3rd down, a long situation. Of course, Europe trying to fool him a little bit with the draw play, but Jacques Saintville, not a problem. He's there out of Admiral Farragut Academy, and Team USA defense has really taken Team Europe out of its game plan of smash mouth football that they talked about when meeting with Coach Allen earlier in the week in his football club.
4th and 10. Boyle's been a busy man. And this time fumbled by Middlebrooks. It's a loose ball, and Team Europe has come up with it. Team Europe with a break. They're going to spot it back where he recovered it. It'll be their ball. He can't, really was a muff, so you can't return a muff. At 73, Sergei Berginac from Germany, or I think I sort of said his name right. Sergei Berginac. Berginac, okay, there we go.
Picked up by Roman Floredo out of Austria, and he recovers it. And as you mentioned, Brian, on any punch, you're not allowed to advance it. It's just a muff. And here's that turnover again. Another break for Team Europe that they have to take advantage of.
So that time Middlebrooks couldn't quite haul in the low line drive.
A little too casual.
Free the quarterback, he remains in, has trip receivers, a lone back behind him. He'll go straight back with time, looking for the screen, and just gets rid of it. And it wasn't really set up, and there's a heavy pressure coming up the middle. Fries leaving, Rottmeyer and Gorman were all in there.
Look like on the right side of your screen that Team Europe got away with a hold. As you can see, that being pulled down is Brandon Rottmeyer, but not a problem. No harm, no foul.
Brandon got up looking around to see where the flag was coming from.
Brandon's going to get used to that at the NCAA Division I level.
They'll hide it a little bit better, though.
2nd down and 10 from Team USA's 28. Free back, firing incomplete. Had a receiver out there, and Boyle just threw it a little bit low. And it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Free has to hold on to that just a half-second longer, and that play had the time to develop. He had good pressure, didn't have pressure up front for maybe the first time all day, and he had the ability to hold on to that just a half a second longer.
Well, the pressure created in the earlier attempts by either Zimmerman or Free have now, I don't want to say happy feet, but Chris Free is a very capable quarterback, and his numbers should be better. He is just rushing a few of his throws.
Showing his inexperience playing against these types of athletes. On the draw play, up the middle, going to give the ball 33, Winberg with a little bit of room, but then spun down. Rottmeyer was over there. Had some help from Mike Williams and Erb. And it will not be enough for a 1st down. Let's see whether they go for a field goal here.
Well, they may bring on the field goal crew, but in my opinion, they need to go for it in this 4th down situation because it's only about 3 yards for them to make it, but it looks like they will try for the 3.
And you showed the speed again of Brandon Rottmeyer, 240, 50 pounds, whatever he is, running down a 167-pounder who had a step on him. It's going to be a 38-yard field goal attempt from Andrew Boyle, a tough left-to-right angle. Kick is up, it has got the distance, and Boyle splits the uprights. So one thing the European and the young man from England can do is kick the football I'm sure he's a soccer player. He played some soccer. 2:26 remaining in the first half. Team Europe on the board. They trail at 21-3.
Let's take another look at this, and Boyle had plenty of leg on that. He's kicking a heavy ball, a wet ball, and just absolutely booted that through. You see he plays wide receiver, punts, does it all, kicks, and
he's a good-looking athlete, guys. He showed a little bit of speed out there on the wide receiver, and well done, as they would say in England, Andrew. A 38-yard field goal, and as Brian said, not the most ideal conditions. That's what they say. Well done, young man.
Well, Europe uses the turnover. Of course, they would want to have 6 points, but as I mentioned earlier, they put something on the board. Now they have something to look forward to. They will not get the football to start the second half, but with plenty of time left with the throwers that Team USA has, they have to stop now.
Aki Hulis or Jay Davis with 2:25 left on the clock, so this one's not over in the first half as far as scoring possibly with Team USA and the type of offense that they can generate in a hurry. There's no real deep man for Team USA, and they're going to just let him kick the ball over his head. I think they're looking for an onside kick and coming back and making the reception, or trying to make the reception. Now Hall's going to pick it up. Hall will bring it out to about the 10, just across the 10, and that's it. 95 initially. Larry Woods was back there. They were standing out at their 20, guys. I guess they were looking for some kind of a squib or onside kick, trailing at 21-3.
We saw Boyle's leg all day, and I mean, the guy's been booming the kickoff, so I don't know what that was. He just boomed the field goal. We see Larry Woods. Larry Woods, a dangerous returner, made a mistake, and special teams is one of the things you just don't have enough time when you're doing an all-star game like this to go over every little thing, and both teams have really struggled with special teams.
Jay Davis back in at quarterback, going to roll it to the right. Firing it this way, throws it right to a defensive player. Number 3 is Robert Coaster, and he is out of bounds at about the 5. Threw it right to him, and an uncharacteristic mistake from a fine quarterback in Jay Davis, and now Team Europe with a chance to get a touchdown and cut this lead to 11 points.
Let them right back into the contest, and it's all set up from what Brian was talking about with not practicing the special teams. You just don't have enough time. He's throwing the deep out pattern, but underneath is Coster, and he's right there. I mean, he's had a rough game so far, getting roughed up, been injured a couple times, but he comes up with the biggest play for Team Europe in the game, can put them right back in the contest.
Well, Coster looked like was running in a curl back to the quarterback. I mean, he ran right in. He just hit him with a number.
In the area. Free the quarterback. The lone running back is Bjorn Dreyer behind him. Free, going to throw it. Intercepted! Intercepted over there. That's Freddie Middlebrooks. Freddie Middlebrooks down the far sideline. He has one man to outrun, and he will not quite do it. That's a fine play by Bjorn Dreyer to keep Middlebrooks from getting into the other end zone. He almost took that one, guys, about 104 yards. Great play, though, by Freddie Middlebrooks. And again, Free just throwing the football too early, trying to just get rid of it before he gets hit.
Well, if there's one area of the game so far that Team USA has not slacked up on, and that is defense. Backs against the wall. They don't want to give up the touchdown before the half. They just gave up a big turnover, and Free here off balance throws this football very wild. No receiver. They're all down low, and he throws the football up high. Can't make the tackle, and Middlebrooks almost takes it the distance, if not for number 34, Bjorn Dreyer, coming up and making the touchdown-saving tackle.
56-yard return out to the 47. He took it 3 yards deep in the end zone. Aki Hulis in at quarterback. Going to try to buy a little bit of time. Now Hulis just running for his life. Going to throw it and finds a receiver. Hall with a little bit of room. Look out, Andre Hall with a whole lot of speed. Makes a move and trips up at the 30, 25-yard line. He wanted to take it up the middle. If he would have bounced it to the outside, he may still be running, but a great individual effort by Hall.
I think Team USA, I think Hulis thought his own players were after him, trying to get him down. He was avoiding so many guys. But Brian, this is what he does so well, creating something out of nothing. It looked like he was going to go down 3 times.
If I was Davis, I wouldn't call it play. I'd say just go out there, start running around, get yourself in a lot of trouble, and good things will happen. And we saw it all Palms Pinellas, and then you saw the ability of Hall to break the tackle and get going.
1:25 accounting remaining. 1st and 10 from inside the 25. Hulis with time, going to throw it to the far sideline. Has a receiver, and he catches it in bounds. It'll be 1st and goal. Corey Burrows on the reception, going to haul it in at about the 8-yard line.
Here's teammates adjusting to each other's throws for here, Brian. Hulis, timing pattern, right where it needs to be.
Great pass again, guys.
2
That is
feet down
beautiful.
for Burrows as well. Just needed the one.
Well, you're talking about, oh, there's a good look at Corey Burrows, 6'1", 180. Talking about Achilles Hulis. Went to Miami football camp last year before his senior year. Very impressive out there. Still hasn't had the scholarship offers, at least not talking about it. He keeps playing like this and showing this tape, he will.
He's been impressive throwing the ball very, very well. This is Hall on the cutback inside the 5, down at about the 1-yard line. Make it the 2. You spot it right at the 2. 1:06 remaining. Let's not forget Team USA had to burn 2 timeouts on an extra point attempt earlier in this second quarter.
We'll just let the clock run. You see Hall, how he can run with the football, and he's such a versatile athlete. It's a great game to have this and also the Palms of Pinellas because, you know, Dixie Hollins doesn't throw the ball that much, and now you're getting to see him catch it and also run with the football as well.
He's behind Gorman in the I formation. Hulis, the quarterback. Second and goal from the 2. Hall into the end zone on his feet for the Team USA touchdown.
What a turn of events.
27-3 the score right now with 38 seconds remaining. And Team Europe was just about ready to make it 21-10. Poorly thrown ball. Freddie Middlebrooks with a nice play. Turns it around, and that man right there, Hulis, and Hall, those two with some great plays, guys.
Well, they did. They really teamed up on that drive, and Hall never went down on that play. Nobody could find him back there. The little guy scored it in there, and he was a workhorse all season. Just give him the football. Everybody knew it was coming.
Jack's extra point is up, and it is through. One more to the tally, 28-3, Team USA. Running away with it here in the first half. We'll take a timeout. You're watching semifinal action in the Red Oak Farm Junior Global Football Championships. There's Andre Hall, made a great play on a scramble from Achilles Hulis, turned it up for a big gain for down to the 25, and then Achilles Hulis with some great passes. 2 good athletes making plays when sometimes it looked like there was nothing there, guys.
Team USA has scored all of its points with Hulis on the field.
Jay Davis had the one slip pass.
Had the one slant pass?
Yep, and he did a good job of buying time, as you said on that one, too, Danielle. This one comes up short. Finally, run down at about the 35-yard line. That was a nice return. Achilles Hulis, number 6 for 8, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. Marcel Dooft on that return for Team Europe. Got it up to the 35. They have 29 seconds now with which to work. Send a receiver to either side. Free remains in at quarterback. He's going to hand the ball off. Ooh, and hit the backfield. Winberg spun down immediately. That was Jock St. Bill again. This guy's impressive, fellow. 6'3", 205. Defensive end linebacker out of Admiral Farragut. He's very quick. Got a good kind of body. He can add probably 20, 30 pounds easily in a college career.
St. Bill just up top, the hard hit. Key member to that Admiral Farragut Blue Jacket defense this year that went undefeated at 11-0.
Team Europe now will not get the snap off before the clock expires here in the first half. 28-3, Team USA leads it over Team Europe to end half number 1 of this semifinal contest. We'll take a break. You are watching the Red Oak Farms Junior Global Football Championship semifinal matchup from Clearwater High. Brian Ox, Brian Syracuse, Eric Keaton back with you at halftime. Semifinal contest, Team USA all over Team Europe. The winner plays Canada for the Junior Global Football Championship on Saturday evening. Let's take a look now at some of the first half highlights. Started after a muffed punt, Billy Henderson for 9 yards.
Billy Henderson doing what he does best, wide open hole. Looked like to fill the gap out there, and he just went right in, but they missed the extra point.
PAT's block, 10-12 left, second quarter. Aki Hulis, nice play fake, finds Danielle Williams.
They're biting all day on the play fake. There he rolls out, finds Danielle Williams, got behind the defense.
30 yards later, he's in the end zone. 2-point conversion makes it 14-0. Jay Davis, buying time, slip screen, Danielle Williams again.
And he gets blocks from Eric Hunter, he gets blocks from Larry Woods, and then he is just gone. He just splits the defense and takes this one 73 yards all the way to the end zone. Game time, 2 touchdowns and 2 touches.
That makes it 21-0. And this is the athletic play by 2 great athletes right here, Aki Hulis and Andre Hall teaming up.
Well, now we're in the backyard. We're playing some football. Just go get in the street and make plays. And Achilles, he feels almost more comfortable doing that. We see it all the time. And then Andre Hall doing well, not only catching the pass, but turning it upfield, making a huge gain out of it.
And that's set up with 38 seconds left in the half. This 2-yard run right off the right side by Andre Hall.
Pinellas County's leading rusher. And Andre Hall takes it in, stands up, a little bit of jaw jack and says, hey, look, scoreboard, buddy.
The guys are just speaking French to each other. Denambe from France, and you see 3 points there by a 38-yard field goal from Andrew Boyle, but it's been all USA. Look at the stats.
Oh, you look at the stats, you look at the scoreboard, and you see that they match up pretty well. 183 yards, 45 passing. Team USA's had time to pass the ball. Team Europe has not.
Yeah, that's the big key, Brian. You touched on it right there. DeQuez Gully has been able to come from the outside. Brandon Rottmeyer's having a great game. They've really taken the smash mouth football out of Coach Allen and Team Europe, and they will not have the football to start the second half.
1 half of football remaining. Team USA up comfortably by the score of 28-3. We'll take another break. Be back with second half action. Watching the Red Oak Farms Global Junior Football Championship semifinal contest from Clearwater High. Danielle Williams with the big first half, couple of touchdowns, putting Team USA ahead by the score of 28-3. Brian Ox, Brian Syracuse, Eric Keaton back with you at Clearwater High School. Aki Hulis getting set to take some snaps. Starting third quarter of action of the Red Oak Farms Global Junior Football Championship semifinal contest. Freddie Middlebrooks was a busy man in the first half. Big interception turning Team USA away. And that was a big play of the first half, really, guys. If they score there, it's 21-10 going in instead of 28-3.
Well, he's done great the whole game. He's done well. He's been holding up the wide receivers of Team Europe, and he's been looking in the backfield there. He looked in the backfield, made a big play.
Andre Hall, one of the twin safeties. Larry Woods will take it at the 5. Larry Woods coming this way and will be spun down as he gets out to about the 22. Team USA will put it in play 1st and 10 from there to start this second half.
Chunik Askan out there along with Marvin Allen on the tackle. There you see Allen out of England, Askan out of Germany.
Jay Davis will be the quarterback to start the second half for Team USA. The offensive front again is Mike Caprat, Jeff Feinhersh, Ryan Bordeaux, Chris Carruthers, and Glenn Lee. Running backs are Hunter and Billy Henderson out of the I formation. Henderson on the counter. Henderson into the secondary. Henderson spins forward, gets it out to about the 30-yard line. Give him a gain of about 7 on first down.
Well, he followed the guys from Clearwater on that right side. Also behind Seminoles, Eric Hunter, but Billy Henderson, a little hesitation. There's Carruthers and Lee. Had some guys pulling out in front of him. Just great blocking up front. And Billy Henderson, all he had to do was pick his spot. And that hole was giant. And Chris Carruthers heading off to USF next year. Big guy on that side. Really been pushing people around today.
2nd and 3. Henderson, look out! Billy Henderson across midfield. Billy Henderson is going to take this one 70 yards for a Team USA touchdown. Brian, you mentioned they blew a hole wide open. You give Billy Henderson any kind of rim like that, and it's lights out to the end zone.
Been Great blocking up front, good running behind him. Billy Henderson here you're going to see up front. Ryan Bordeaux getting in there, just went straight up the middle. Larry Woods, tight end, you saw him down there blocking and making the play. Then Billy Henderson, all he has to do is make the long jaunt to the end zone, and really nobody there. Mutz was the only one that had a chance, but he did not have the angle on him.
Henderson, a true Patriot, wearing the red, white, and blue.
Ryan Jack's extra point is up, and it is through. 11:03 remaining third quarter. Team USA striking quickly. They now lead it by the score of 35-3 after Billy Henderson's 70-yard touchdown jaunt. Billy Henderson with a heck of a 70-yard run. Nice hole. Made a good little move, though. A couple of yards over the line of scrimmage and just outraced everyone. 6 carries, 99 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for Billy Henderson out of Pinellas High School.
Did we see him do that play in practice?
Yes, we
After
did,
our preview
actually.
show, that
Yes,
was the
he
exact
sure-
same play he's running.
Just give him a little bit of room, and the guy's going to take it the distance. And what could he have done this year if he had a little bit of, that was that.
They've made his name, it used to say Shea, number 90, and Jack. They've got some type of lettering on the
They
back.
made that during halftime because in the first
That's
half
right.
it wasn't Jack.
That's some tape. That's some tape to tape somebody's ankle with. They just made his name Jack out of it.
But he's probably like, what should I do at halftime? They said, well, kicker, make your name on the back of your jersey.
Everybody knows who he is. Doing a fine job here this evening and getting it out to about the 29-yard line. It's 32 Bastian Moeller. Bastian Moeller from Germany. And Team Europe now, their first possession of the third quarter, trailing at 35-3. And we talked about it. The big play, the quickness, the big playability of Team USA has really been predominant in this football game. A couple of 70-plus yard plays, 30-yard-plus play, a couple of big plays leading to shorter touchdowns.
Well, the defense of Team Europe's got to be worn down right now. You know you're down a lot, but you probably can't be going out here throwing the football. Try to establish the run. Try to keep that defense over there because they're getting hit from every angle.
And you're going to play in another game in a couple of days. You have to work on plays in order to play that one final game.
Zimmerman's going to swing it out, has a receiver, makes a nice move. This is 81, Marcel Dooft, and Dooft, late flag comes into the play after he picks up a first down. So let's see what that's all about.
And you know Team Europe's going to have a handful with that Team Japan, Eric. We got a chance to see them before the game. And just
Those guys are
at the beginning.
emotional, intense. The coaches never give up attitude, blocking extra points and running them back. And on this last play, Team Europe will pick up a few extra yards on the face mask.
It'll be a 15-yarder, personal foul type of the face mask, which moves the ball into Team USA territory. Take another look at it.
Well, you had Nelson Walker, a little bit too much pursuit, loses his footing, and
I don't know about that.
rare tackles in the secondary, but the official right there, they'll throw the flag, they'll give him a big one. They'll add 15 to this one, and Doof picking up a couple of catches. He had a rough going returning the football on special teams, but he's starting to pick up the game receiving the football.
1st and 10 from the 46 of Team USA. Zimmerman, the quarterback, will split the backs and send a slot to the right. Swinging out, this is going to be a running play, and then Melvin Teert makes it a loss of a running play. He got some help from Jacques Saintville. Just too slow to develop against this speedy group of defensive end and linebackers from Team USA.
Well, Team Europe didn't know the play. The Doof was out here, and he really didn't know what he was supposed to be doing, and he missed his block back. And then you see Melvin Teert coming up there with help of Nelson Walker coming up there. But Melvin Teert, 5'11", 190, did a lot for Dixie Hollins this year and was all over the football field.
It was Nelson Walker, 24, the DB, 5'8", 160 out of Tarpon Springs, playing out on the corner. These corners have really kept the receivers quiet from Team Europe. Zimmerman's going to pump one way, fire it deep the other way. Sam Smith is there, and it goes through his hands. Sam missed time to jump a little bit, but he was in a great position out there, and No shot at all to get the ball to the European receiver.
Oh, he was not open in the first place, and Smith misjudges this one. Needs to take a few pop flies from me and learn how to field a baseball. Then he'll have a better chance of fielding this ball right here. He got way up in the air, just jumped a little too soon, misjudging. Eyes probably got really big because he knew he was going to have an interception.
Well, he ran backwards the whole time, and that's why he didn't get all the way to the football. If he would have turned back and ran like a wide receiver, he would have had that.
Third down.
Jack.
And 16. Zimmerman back, firing over the middle of the big tight end, and he is hit immediately and dumped by Omar Lawrence. Omar Lawrence read it nicely, trying to get it in there to Stephen, the tight end, and it falls incomplete.
Saw him wide open in the first half. This time Omar Lawrence got over there in time, released down the field free, but Omar Lawrence came in. Looked like Stephen might have taken a little bit of peek there at the last second and said, oh, wait, the yellow hat's about to hit me.
He developed little alligator arms there at the end as he saw Omar Lawrence flying in.
Omar Lawrence on his way to the University of Central Florida. Of course, we called his name a lot for the Packers, and of course he was making a lot of tackles, but here the secondary tonight only making tackles downfield on a few pass plays. The run blocking's been well done.
They're punting it, and Lawrence lets it bounce, and it'll roll inside the 10 and down inside or about the 5-yard line. So Team USA will have their backs up against their goal line, leading it 35-3 with 9:34 left here in the third quarter of play. Now, one thing that's going to be interesting, especially for this Team USA guys, is I guess the foreign players are used to this, but our guys are not used to turning around in 2.5 days and playing another football game.
Right.
So that'll be interesting. They don't have a large number of players. The players primarily are going one way, but then I don't know, in that contest they may have to rest a few players here and there and play some guys two ways occasionally to see what happens because that's going to be interesting to see how their bodies respond.
It's just going to be a different thing. 6 for 8, we saw his numbers, 108 yards, 1 touchdown for Achilles, but that will be an interesting to see because Canada is so big and physical.
It's going to run it straight off the left side, trying to get off the goal line. They get out across the 5-yard line, a gain of a couple. We'll set up second down and 8.
Adam Gorman just trying to get a few yards. USA not doing anything spectacular now. They have the huge lead. Used some clock, runs into his own man that time, number 60, Jeff Feinhersh.
Solomon Johnson replaces Corey Burrows at the wide receiver position, alternating the wide receivers, bringing the plays in from the bench from Coach John Davis, the offensive coordinator in this contest. Second and 8. Backs in the I formation. Toss the ball. Hall coming this way, and Hall will be hit for a loss. Fine defense that time by Team Europe. A couple of players over there on the stop. Number 2, Mangus Lundquist was over there. And also 43, Emmanuel Ndombi. How do you say that, Eric?
Ndombi out of France.
Ndombi.
We talked about him earlier, and of course,
good-looking player.
Still another get him high and get him low. And Emmanuel Ndombi, one of the top linebackers in Europe this year, playing out of France.
Played a pretty good game tonight. We called his name a couple of times.
He was the one in the end zone after Andre Hall's touchdown, conversing in French with Andre. Third down and 10. They lost a couple yards on the play. Pull us straight back. Dead ball infraction. They will blow this one dead.
I believe you're going to have the right defensive end. Made a move, but he got back across the line of scrimmage, and Micah Pratt flinched a little bit, so they may move back half the distance to the goal line. At least that's what I saw.
Prior to the snap, Newman on the offensive line. 5-yard penalty, half the distance, third down.
Well, you saw it right, Eric, and that's new, too, to these fellows because, again, in high school football, if you get in the neutral zone, it's an automatic encroachment call. And so this is an early start on their collegiate career playing in the offensive line. They're going to have to get used to that because if you don't make contact, then the player can get in the neutral zone and jump back before the snap.
And Micah Pratt's going to be going up to Gannon, Pennsylvania to attend college and play a little football. He played for that man right there, John Davis.
But that will see Achilles Hooley scramble around on this time. Just a quick pass.
Back in the end zone looking for release, gets it out to Gorman, and a nice open field tackle at the 10, keeping Gorman from turning it up.
Looked like Achilles was waiting to scramble there. He was daring him to come in and get him, and then
But the pressure was getting to him on that play.
Number 3, Robert Kauster out there from Germany. We saw a lot of earlier. He was hurt early, came back.
Costa with a fine open field tackle on Gorman.
Ooh, almost a little bit of a late hit there by number 50, Karsten Leeseman out of Germany, coming there
A little love touch.
with the WWF style flying elbow. This one's going to hit at the 40, and again,
Nobody wants to return punts tonight. It's a hot potato football.
Marvin Allen from England. I guess they're used to guys in Europe who can kick the ball a lot further because they're giving them room as though they're playing big-time NFL punters here. And Jack's a fine punter, but he gets knocked down there. Is it Jeffrey?
He embellishes.
He's asking me, come on, where's my call? This is Super Bowl week. I've been watching all kinds of football on television.
He's got to get back.
At least could have had.
He's got to get back to drama class. Got to give a little better effort than that if he's going to try to get a call.
Well, I'm sure.
Jack's actually going up to University of Florida next year as a walk-on, trying to get on there. And if he does, I'm sure they're not going to just tape up his number or his name.
They will not. This one thrown into traffic, and Zimmerman trying to get it out to 33. Winberg, but
he threw to the wrong receiver. If he throws this one to Andrew Boyle, Boyle is gone for a touchdown. The ball just whizzed right by him. See it right there. He's throwing it. If he was throwing it to Boyle, he threw it about 5 yards in front of him. Contact out there with Winberg, but there was so much contact. If Boyle makes that catch, he's gone.
Look, a little bit of a pick play there.
Threw it to the wrong receiver.
Just not sure who he was throwing it to.
Short preparation time. Players from all over Europe. It makes it even more difficult. Bouncing it to the outside. Nice run by Bastian Moeller, but he can't turn the corner. Running to the football once again. Sam Smith was over there, and along with Chris Fairchild.
Trying to bounce it outside. There's Moeller getting to the outside. Switching the ball. You like to see that. Good fundamentals. But Mueller doesn't like to see Sam Smith coming up there.
And Chris Fairchild with pursuit as well.
Big guy moved pretty well with Fairchild. 6'2", 220, interior linebacker, running sideline to sideline out of Dunedin High School.
Well, in Palms Pinellas, they had him on the line at nose guard, and I'm like, when are they going to put you back at linebacker in your spot? And he said, I'm finally at home now.
3rd and 10, double slot, blown back, straight back Zimmerman, getting it off just before he gets hit down the far sideline. Intercepted by Omar Lawrence. Omar Lawrence hauls it in right at the 15 and steps out of bounds right there. And the deep passing game just not working for Team Europe because the USA team with good speed back there covering very well in the secondary.
Well, Lawrence is playing this one like a center fielder. He sees this one the whole way, knows where the sideline is, and just goes up and makes the easy catch, puts both feet down and says, hey, look, first down, Team USA.
Both these European quarterbacks have nice arms. They throw pretty balls, but need a little more refinement, and they don't have quite the receiving core, honestly, that Team USA has that the quarterbacks Davis and Hullis have to work with.
That's something that Solo and also Doof had talked about, saying this year's receiver core is a little bit quicker, but not as big as last year's team.
Davis on the run, firing it, a strike to 87. Charles Driver, who gets it out to about the 38-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 23 yards and a first down for Team USA.
Nifty footwork there by Charles Driver, who I feel like has grown up on Time Warner. His 4th year. He played since his freshman year.
He's 50 now or something.
Don Davis has talked about him since his freshman year, and it is a big boy dancing around making people miss, but I think this could be maybe his like 500th appearance on Time Warner's Game of the Week.
Davis back again, stepping up in the pocket, now he's going to run it, and he's going to pick up about 5 yards out to the 45.
Well, besides Achilles Hulis scrambling, this is the first time we've actually seen a quarterback take the football upfield, something that when we have the championship game on Saturday, we'll see both the Canadian quarterbacks who love to run the quarterback, whether it's to the outside or with the quarterback draw. They have a couple guys that love to carry the pigskin.
I don't know if NC State likes to see that.
Poor Coach John Davis. Jay, of course, missed a good portion of his junior year after running an option play and separating and dislocating a shoulder. A little counter action. Billy Henderson will try to bounce it to the outside. Has that corner turned into Europe territory. Billy Henderson down that far sideline. Goodbye. 55-yard touchdown run. And that was all Billy Henderson. They strung the play out and just beat them to the corner and took it down that far sideline.
Billy's going to make an MVP for Team USA, at least for this game. Kind of hard on us. We had our mindset on Williams, then it turned to Achilles Hulis, and now number 10 running the football. evades a couple of tacklers and just has that speed to go to the outside. There you see him outrun Ndombi, who we've been talking about all night as a great linebacker coming out of France. And here, just the speed. What's the old adage? Speed kills.
Strung it out and just got to the corner. Brian Jack now with the extra point. It is up and it is through.
Jack's right at home.
50 remaining in the third quarter. Team USA leading at 42-3. We'll take another break. You're watching the Red Oak Farms Global Junior Football Championships from Clearwater High. Billy Henderson with 2 touchdown runs in the second quarter that total 125 yards, 170 and 155. 7 carries for 164 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight for Billy Henderson. Having a whale of a contest, and Brian Syracuse, that offensive front, doing a great job this entire evening.
Well, they sure did. There was 5 guys that got key blocks on that drive. We'll talk a little bit after this kick.
And Jack, it's a high kick. This one a little bit shorter. Comes down to Marcel Dooft, and Dooft is popped at about the 23-yard line. Actually, that's Winberg. Johan Winberg on the return. He got popped.
Meet Wes Erb. He was the jailbreaker, the wall breaker, and the tackler and everything on that play.
We got 6'2", 210 running full speed and just running right through 5'7", 165. That's a little unfair, especially with the speed that Erb also packs into that 210-pound frame.
The math just doesn't work on that. Your Team Europe, you don't like to see that coming down there and hitting you.
1st and 10 from their own 23. Zimmerman remains in at quarterback. Has 4 receivers now, 1 back, going to run a play action, dump it out here in the flat, gets it out to Doof. Doof turns it across the 30 and marked him out of bounds at about the 34. So he will have a first down on a well-designed little out pattern. Move the chains, first down for Team Europe.
And this time he had great protection. At the top of your screen, number 77, the left tackle, Mark Sainsbury, just taking care of Jacques Saintville, and a nice catch by Dooft out there in the flat area, and he had great protection that time from his tackles and time to throw.
Team Europe's quarterbacks seem like they throw that out better and they go deep, and they feel more comfortable throwing the football there.
They have thrown that one well, and primarily too because they haven't had as much pressure on that quick drop. And when they get a little pressure, they seem like they just want to rush it a little bit. And just a lack of maturity at the quarterback position. Guys just need to take a few more snaps in game situations to get used to.
Good drop by the linebacker, Melvin Tyrrett, on this play. Just trying to zip this ball in there and just getting his hand back there in time to break up. The guy was open. Omar Lawrence was going to come up, give him a good whack, but nice drop by Melvin Tyrrett, reading the quarterback's eyes.
Second consecutive outstanding all-star game. We saw him in the Palms Pinellas game. He was one of the team leaders defensively, the 5'11", 190-pound linebacker out of Dixie Holland. Zimmerman rolling it far side, down that far sideline, and adjusting the ball, making a nice open field catch. Ball adjustment is 85, Hugo Solo, 5'11", 148 out of Spain.
Well, that time you had Omar Lawrence over there, and he'd just lose his side of the football. Zimmerman, to roll him out of the pocket, say, look, I can avoid traffic here, throws this one on the run, really didn't have his shoulder square, but a nice ball adjustment made by Solo. And he brings it in, one of the younger players here on Team Europe.
Only 17 years old, and his older brother played here, and his older brother had a 2-1 record. They won it in Miami, but then they lost in Atlanta to Team Canada.
1st and 10 from the Team USA 32. Throw it over that far side, incomplete, trying to get it out to Andrew Boyle. Pumped it to the right, turned around for the quick pattern on the other side, but went right through Boyle.
I'm not sure if Boyle stopped running. The play looked like it was developing well, just a little high for him. Elliott discussed it himself because he didn't read the play better. Thought he might have had a shot at that one to pick it off.
2nd down and 10. Europe trailing at 42-3. Just under 4 minutes left. Third quarter, underneath and incomplete between 2 receivers. There were 2 receivers out there and only 1 defender, but Again, pretty good pressure from the front four, causing him to get rid of the ball probably before he wanted to.
He was throwing and ducking in the same motion, and that doesn't work for a completion. Zimmerman going back, and as he's throwing, he's bailing out of that tackle, and that's usually what makes it come up short.
Chuck St. Ville and Melvin Teert applying the pressure right in his face, 32 and 52 respectively. 3rd and 10. Slot to either side. The lone back is 32, Bastian Moeller behind Zimmerman. Again, heavy pressure. Zimmerman running for his life to this side. Will fire it incomplete, out of bounds, and he gets clobbered as he throws the football. Hitting him from behind was Melvin Teert. Brandon Rottmeyer was also in pursuit.
Well, he did a nice job here of avoiding the backside pressure. He felt it and tried to direct traffic downfield. But Teert, you could just see his closing speed with every step that he would take. He would just inch closer and closer. And here's another look at it. You can see Teert catching up, and Zimmerman doing the best he can to give directions as he takes the big hit from behind, telling his receiver to get into position. I've got to unload it. I only have a couple more seconds before I'm going to get blasted here.
4th and 10. They're going to go for it. Split the backs. Zimmerman will roll it this way under some pressure again. Throwing it deep, and it's batted away. Fine defensive play
By Nelson Walker.
Nelson Walker breaking it up. And that'll fall incomplete. We'll see it one more time. Nice player by Nelson.
Nelson staying with his man deep. I don't know. He might have been trying to pick it off and not bat it down on 4th down, but hey, it's the All-Star game. You want to get your name in the newspaper. You know, you really can't blame him. Nelson Walker's played a great game. Called in last week. One of the guys that stepped up said, yeah, I'd love to play for Team USA, and came out, and obviously he's been a good addition to this football team.
And he played mostly running back for Don Davis's team up in Tarpon Springs this season. So he did play some defense, but his primary role was running the football for the Smunders.
Willis back in at quarterback as the backs line up in the I formation. Going to give it straight up the middle to Gorman, the fullback, and not much that time, maybe a yard. Didn't get him off his feet, but they did blow the whistle on numerous occasions.
That's right, man. I still got places to go. I remember last time I scored a touchdown, they called it back because of a big penalty, so I need to get into the end zone. That Palms of Pinellas where he caught that short pass play and ran at the distance and laid down flat on the ground, and then everybody walked over. Yeah, your congratulations there, Adam. We got to go back and do it again. We had a clip.
Well, in the game we did with CCC, Adam Gorman had a rough night most of the night, and then finally he has a big run, and we were still in commercial. And so it's had a rough time on Time Warner.
2nd down and 9, little counter action to Hall. Hall trying to break out of the initial surge, and a late flag comes in as he does a nice job of getting it out to the 40. 2 late flags come in. Let's see. It's maybe multiple penalties. Could have a face mask and maybe a late block. Let's see what happens.
Face mask or felt we might have a late hit.
Could be. Philip Kelly talking it over with his fine officiating crew, doing a good job here this evening. We'll say it's going to be against Europe, pointing in that direction to the USA bench.
Not only do they do a fine job of officiating, but they're always out here, on their own time, officiating these football games.
No? Okay. Oh, face mask. Go
Both penalties are on Team Europe.
Yeah, Phil Kelly just pointed the wrong direction on the face mask. We'll take another look at it.
A little bit more of the counter, and you see Glenn Lee not getting there in front.
He's like, hold on a second, I got a block for you.
And Carruthers was coming that way too. They've done a lot of counter plays. Even there's a late hit.
Leading with the helmet right there makes the infraction.
Yeah, that hurts.
I think the European team getting a little bit frustrated right now.
Taking a helmet in the ear hole does not feel good.
1st and 10 from the Europe 40 for Team USA. Straight up the middle is Andre Hall, and he barrels forward for a gain of 5. And tackled by number 50, Karsten Leisman out of Germany.
This time Hall just runs into the arms of Leisman, and Leisman says, come on down here with me. No late hits this time. Billy Henderson, quite a night. What, 7 carries, 164 yards the last time we checked?
Come on, Billy, we need bigger numbers now, man.
Showing his Team USA.
I'm averaging twice my number tonight.
Second down, 5, split the backs behind Houlis. In the counter action again to Gorman. Nothing there this time as Team USA now trying to take some time off the clock running the ball, and the European defense saying, nah, we're not going to make it that easy for you guys. Fumble the ball, and Europe has it. So a late fumble as he spun down in the traffic there, and Team Europe has come up with the football.
Oh, that was 7 turnovers now in this contest. Team USA fortunate that 3 of them have not hurt them.
With the 39-point lead, I think that they'll be all right with this fumble. But
yeah, this
one, you see Gorman there getting twisted in there. Actually, giving the ball to a fullback, the quick plays up the middle really haven't worked. The more slow developing, letting the offensive line pull, the few counter plays, those have been the big plays for Team USA.
1st and 10 from their own 36. Zimmerman has his man wide open as Marcel goofed across midfield down to the USA 45. So just a quick post or slant pattern, well delivered, well run by Doof. First down for Europe.
Doof's a quality receiver. He's padding up his numbers right now. He'd love to add on to him with a touchdown and get into the end zone. Here wide open in the field as USA dropping back into coverage. Fairchild making the tackle. See Team USA with that game tackling mode.
Looked like Wes Erb was playing man-to-man and Marvin Elliott was playing zone.
Coming back, has receivers on either side, throwing it underneath, has his man, 85, that's Solo again. And he picks up about 7 yards.
Brian, you can see when Zimmerman has the time, he is a very effective quarterback. And that time he's trying to throw it through the line and tossing that one sidearm.
Well, Zimmerman led his team to the European Junior Championship, the Germany team, and was the MVP there. So obviously he has the ability and has the arm. We've seen the arm. Just needs to get him a few more seconds.
2nd down and 3. Zimmerman again back to pass with some time. Now running it to this side. Go turn it up and run it. Across the 35, has the first down, out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. They'll stop the clock there with 30 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
Excellent decision. Getting out of the pocket once again, feeling the heat. Feeling the heat coming from the backside, says, wait a minute, well, from the front side, I have to get out of there. Dustin Kosteleski coming after me, and no receivers open. Everybody's covered, most of them downfield, knows where the sticks are, and gets the first down.
I think the best decision was getting out before Sam Smith and Wes Erb unloaded on him. Then Zimmerman, 6'1", 181, heading to the sideline.
1st and 10 from the 31 of USA for Europe, putting together a nice drive. Slot to either side. The lone back is Moeller behind Zimmerman. Over there, the fade pattern on the far side, and breaking open was Solo. Smith lost it momentarily, but just too far for him.
Not sure if either guy knew the ball was in the air for him.
Sam Smith was lost on that play. He was looking for the ball, looking back in the backfield. Then he kind of put the brakes on. But gave Solo the ability to get the separation and almost break it for a touchdown.
2nd down and 10. And Europe now going to call a timeout. They had some confusion running the receivers on and off the field with the play. 24 seconds remaining 3rd quarter. 42-3, the USA leads it. We'll take a break. Be back with the rest of this 3rd quarter. You're watching the Red Oak Farms Junior Global Football Championship semifinal contest on Time Warner's Channel 7. Brian Ox, Brian Syracuse, Eric Keaton with you from Clearwater High School. Some of the fans have gone home because this is a blowout. 42-3, 24 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Semifinal contest between Team USA and Team Europe. 2nd down and 10. Zimmerman back to pass with some time, steps up and fires it for a 1st down. Nice grab in traffic By 33, the running back, Johan Winberg.
Winberg only 5'7", the European version of Donyell Williams. Fairchild can't get up high enough to knock it down, and Zimmerman threads it in there.
Good look at Johan, the young man out of Sweden.
No, Brian, that's Sweden, not
Sweden?
Sweden.
Johans of Sweden. Of course, Brian, if he was a soccer player, 5'7", 165, right there, he'd be a giant probably, right?
There you go,
Just
again,
teasing.
beating up
Picking
on the soccer players.
42-3 your score after 3 quarters of play. We'll be back with 4th quarter action. You're watching the Red Oak Farms Junior Global Football Championships. Fourth quarter action. Brian Ucks, Brian Syracuse, and Eric Keaton back with you. 42-3 the USA over Europe. Europe trying to drive. First play incomplete from Zimmerman, who remains in at quarterback. We have not seen Chris Free here in the second half, and maybe they're going to go with Zimmerman the rest of the way.
Well, they got their Free played the second quarter, and that's the rule. You have to play in the second quarter full. So if they feel like he's driving them this time, and they put together a little bit of a drive here, so why not let him try to finish it out?
Well, he's been the more polished of the 2 quarterbacks. Certainly Free, a big kid at 6'5", 220. He's got a lot of potential, throws a nice pass, but doesn't seem to be quite as refined with his overall skills. Maybe not quite the runner that Zimmerman is, and he's under a little bit of pressure here. Second down at 10. Zimmerman with time. Intercepted by number 40, Wes Erb. Erb down the sideline. Wes Erb is going to take this one about 85 yards for a USA touchdown. Just when I was bragging on Zimmerman, Wes Erb steps in and makes a beautiful play from his linebacker position. 6'2", 210, takes it about 85 yards.
Wes Erb is used to scoring touchdowns. Googs will tell you that, the trainer from Palm Harbor University, cheering for USA, and the defense finally picks up the score. Wes Erb not much for celebrating because he got into the end zone about 18 to 20 times for Admiral Farragut, playing running back and linebacker. But once he caught the football, he knows what to do with it.
Well, they're reading that play. That's pretty much what Team Europe had doing all day, and the linebackers are starting to slowly read it, and Wes Erb did a great job jumping on that and going the distance.
Brian Jack on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is through. 11:38 left 4th quarter. 7 more to the tally. 48-3, or 49-3. Team USA all over it. Actually picked that off at about the 13, guys, so we'll call it an 87-yarder.
That's just watching game, just understanding what's been happening. I mean, it's just been the same little take a few steps across the 2 wide receivers, and linebacker Wes Erb was there, and he took it the rest of the way.
You know, and I've been wanting to say this for a while, that the kicker, Brian Jack, you know, has to be right at home now for Team USA. Wes Erb scoring touchdowns, taking it in, and of course Jack not getting the attempts to kick any field goals. He has to kick extra points because he's on teams.
Well, here's a guy that just came with
the tar out of people
yesterday because of Danny Shea's injury, and he's been wearing out his right leg in this contest with all the kickoffs and some extra points now. And Wes Erb, his teammate, giving him a chance to kick another extra point and to put another ball in play from the kickoff position. Good-looking athlete, Wes Erb. Good size, and again, a lot of these guys have the frames to really add some weight in college to really be effective collegiate football players.
It's good for a chance for Wes Erb to get out there and get on TV. Admiral Farragut struggled for many years, and Gelazzo came in here, and he's really put some fire back into that program there, and it's gotten some good players out there, and as Eric mentioned earlier, went on and won their championship. So great, and congratulations to Wes Erb and Admiral Farragut.
Yes, outstanding year. A lot of good football players. And Admiral Farragut, we saw a lot of them in the Palms Pinellas football game.
Yeah, Adam Butcher, a center, almost had a chance to play for Team Europe because he is from England. And he decided to work on his ability to go to UCF. Did a lot of touring, so he was not able to play in the tournament.
I think right now he's watching it saying, oh, thank God I'm pretty happy with my decision.
Brian Jack will kick it deep. And a line drive kick. Taking it straight up the middle, and a nice return that time by Team Europe. That was 33 Winberg on the return. Johan's been very active. A tough kid at 5'7", 165, not afraid to stick his nose up in there against this bigger and just equally as quick USA team.
And Team Europe now, obviously, as I mentioned all night, out of the game plan. They really have to be frustrated, but as I mentioned earlier, they have to keep going with the offense. They have to get plays down. This is a chance for them to run a few plays and then work on this game the rest of the way as a scrimmage, because they have to play it a couple more days against Team Japan in the consolation game.
Zimmerman back with time, throws the out pattern, has a receiver, Thomas Knock from Germany. First time we've seen Knock on the receiving end, the tight end at 6'2", 225. Some nice looking tight ends on this European team, a good size. Knock and Stefan.
Do a little bit more of the out patterns, drop back, do a little cross with your wide receivers and get the ball out there and get your big boys up there. And
there's Wes Erb out there making another play. Freddie Middlebrook's also helping. Second down and 3 after that 7-yard gain. Throwing it over there and has his tight end again, Knock, for the first down out to the 40-yard line of Team USA. And make that Duft, on the reception. Marcel Duft from Germany on that reception on the far sideline.
Zimmerman really dropped this one in, a couple of defenders right there. Perfect placement of the football, and Lawrence just a second too late out there. A nice concentration on making the catch, keeping his feet in bounds as well, and taking the hit.
It was a pretty pass that time by Zimmerman.
Absolutely.
First and 10 from the USA 40. Zimmerman with time, another out pattern, and it's dropped. Trying to get it over here.
That one just slipped out of the breadbasket of Andrew Boyle.
Last 2 drives have not been bad by this Team Europe, obviously. The ending of the last drive was Wes Erb taking it the distance, but they drove down the field, one mistake, and now again they got the ball and they're moving a little bit. Obviously Team USA doesn't have the same progression coming up front and giving Zimmerman a little bit more time.
Well, if he keeps throwing that out pattern, there was a defender right there again. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody step in front of another one here soon. Second down and 10. Zimmerman buying some time, throwing late back, and it is dropped. Almost a nice juggling catch across field there, but not able to haul it in as Solo. Made a pretty good effort as the defender went up a little early, and Solo had the ball hit off his hands, and he almost hauled it in falling on his back.
This is Solo taking a look at his hands right here. You see both receivers. Might have been tipped just a tad by Lawrence. I'm not really sure, but it looked like his hands were close enough. Might get a better angle here. Zimmerman doing a nice job of throwing on the run, just deciding at the last minute a better throw to a receiver that is open. Couldn't really tell, and Solo trying to make an acrobatic catch, falling back down to the ground.
Third and 10. Zimmerman with time, again rolling to the right, firing in, a nice completion, big hit from 42 over there, Omar Lawrence, or 45 make that. Is that Vinny Capone making that hit?
Omar coming up. Omar has been back there in his free safety position. He's dropping a little bit deeper now and coming up and still bringing it all. And Omar Lawrence, that's why UCF loved him when he went over there during the summer for a camp, and that is why they went ahead and signed him.
Playing that Packer defense is Omar Lawrence.
6 foot, 175 pound, safety, can play corner, good athlete, good speed. It was a nice play by Europe there to get it down to the USA 27. Zimmerman will roll it this way, getting some good time now as he gets to the corner. Throwing it and has a receiver. Nice catch and nice throw as he comes up to Andrew Boyle. Takes a pretty big pop but holds on to the ball. at the 8-yard line, 9-yard line. First and goal from there for Team Europe.
It looked like Zimmerman was going to run the football, and then he tells his receiver, hey, come back, help me out a little bit. Throws this one on the run, and a nice reception down there. Kept the feet in bounds, took the hit at the same time. Andrew Boyle.
Sam Smith with a pretty big hit there, but Boyle holding on to it. Talking about Boyle, good-looking athlete. Kicked a nice 38-yard field goal in the first half.
The receivers can catch out here. As we said, they're not that big, but they're starting to get open with that speed.
First and goal from the 9. Run and draw play, and not much there. Spun down after a gain of a couple. It's 34, Bjorn Dreyer, 5'11", 193-pound running back out of Germany.
Try to catch him. There hadn't been a run in seems like forever, and so why not try to trick up the defense? But all day long up front, they've been just too tough for this Team Europe.
Well, this is about the only challenge left for Team USA. They kept them out of the end zone the last time they got down here. They had a second and goal from the 5. Timeout called by Europe to talk it over because they have a player that's hobbling a little bit. Big number 77, Mark Sainsbury out of Germany, 6'2", 256, is favoring one of his legs as he hobbles off to the sideline. They'll get a replacement in and give Zimmerman a chance to talk to his coaching staff, Tony Allen, and offensive coordinator Sinelli Sando. See what they want to do here on a second and goal from the 7. Certainly Team USA guys would love to keep them out of the end zone, but Team Europe obviously trying to get that at least one touchdown in this contest.
We talk about the coaching staff that Tony Allen has put together, all of them with NFL Europe experience. Sinelli at the Frankfurt Galaxy and the defensive coordinator with the Berlin Thunder. Of course, Tony Allen oversees the educational development of coaches and players in NFL Europe. And he's been a coach for a while with the London Monarchs back in the late 90s, and before NFL Europe he coached the London Olympians to 3 British titles and 2 Europe Bowl titles. So he's been a very busy man. A lot of trophies in the mantle case for him.
And he's a 5-year veteran of this game. He's been here every year. And so the one man that's seen them all.
Second and goal from the 7. Zimmerman under heavy pressure. Saintville going to sack him all the way back at the 20-yard line. Great speed by Jacques Saintville and a late flag coming into the fray. Let's see if this is maybe a personal foul against Team USA.
Vinny Capone is pointing toward the offensive side.
Personal foul against Team Europe. So not only did they get a huge sack from the 7-yard line, now they're going to get a 15-yarder on top of them.
Saintville beating him with speed up the middle. I mean, just absolutely no chance for Zimmerman. He was getting back there, and Saintville was all 6'3", 205 was on top of him.
You take a timeout, you've got a second and goal from the 7, and you come up with a play, and you're facing second and goal from the 35.
You're saying that's not what they drew up?
Nah, not quite what they drew up. I don't think the personal foul there was almost a punch, it looked like, thrown. There's the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, they got my award down there on the field.
That's a real thing, too.
Put that back.
Zimmerman back, throwing from 40, intercepted by Freddie Middlebrooks. Freddie Middlebrooks will be tackled at about the 3, but Middlebrooks back there going up nicely, aggressively for the football. And once again, after the big sack by Jacques Saintville and the 15-yard penalty, Team USA turns back Team Europe when they had a second and goal.
Now the European heads, if they haven't already, I mean, this may be not right to say, but the heads are starting to really hang low. They're really starting to get frustrated now. You can see them how slowly they're walking off the field. The helmets are coming off early. The coaches are frustrated. They really want to punch that one into the end zone, and nothing just seems to be working well tonight. Of course, a lot of that has to be Team USA as well.
They played well. Even when Europe has gotten drive going, Team USA has had all the answers. The big sack, the interceptions, and Henderson almost tackled for a safety. He gets tripped up for a loss back to the 1.
Motions are running high right now out there. Charles Driver was about 15 yards downfield, still blocking Coaster, just absolutely beating up poor Robert. He's been having a tough day from Germany. Had the big interception that almost got them within 11 points in the first half, but just Charles Driver just pushing them all the way down the field, and there's a shot after the play. So hopefully the last 3:43 there will be no incidents.
Well, hopefully this won't deteriorate. Obviously the European team very frustrated, and they've had a couple of plays, and the U.S. team don't want to put up with that, so hopefully there's not going to be a lot of retaliation going on as Henderson tripped up as he gets it out to about the 3, maybe the 4.
Well, Brian, this game's been well in hand for a while. I want to remind everybody to come out Saturday night to Clearwater High School for the Global Junior Championship number 5 between Team USA and Team Canada. Canada has been watching this game the whole time, and their tongues have been hanging out of their mouth as well. They're like, my gosh, we have to face this on Saturday. They're making jokes like they need to get their team out on the track field here to get them warmed up for the speed chase against Danielle Williams and company. But that'll be a good game. And Canada has the size out there, and they can run the football. They have some quality quarterbacks.
So you're watching this game, obviously, on Friday night. Come on out tomorrow and catch the championship, and you can watch the game on tape delay after that. Billy Henderson will try to get to the outside, and he will break a tackle, and Billy Henderson still on his feet and will not quite get to the first down marker, but another terrific effort by a terrific running back from Pinellas High School, Billy Henderson.
Billy Henderson just killed his average. 3 runs, about 7 yards. What the sacrifice he'll make for Team USA running the clock out.
Clock remains running with 2:16 and counting left.
I think USA still has 3 timeouts they may want to burn.
I don't think so, Eric.
I know.
We're going to tell Coach Roper if he doesn't burn them, he can carry him over to Saturday night. How's that sound?
It's going to be interesting Saturday night. Eric was talking about Team Canada. We saw a lot of pulling up front by this Team USA, and really their ability to really hurt Team Europe with that. And there's Sam Roper using one of those 3 timeouts, but the ability of Team Canada just to be physical. And oh wow, helmet cam comes out.
The helmet cam is out.
Better look out. Omar Lawrence was hitting everybody.
Time for Brian or Eric to sing "Turn Out the Lights, the Party's Over." No singing, please, according to Ed Bachman. Viewers ought to turn the TV off a couple minutes early.
Well, this is going to be an interesting matchup on Saturday night because Team USA has a chance to make history. I mean, USA teams have only been in this tournament twice, this being obviously the second time, but if they can win, they'll always remember the first. That the Team USA did it in the 5th Global Championship because this tournament is well on its way to building every year at the Super Bowl.
Well, and this USA team here from Pinellas County has acquitted themselves well in this one. Talking about there's some very good athletes that aren't here this evening for various reasons, but we still have plenty of great athletes. And that one snapped over the head, so 2 more points on the safety. That one just got away a lot, not just a little bit, but that's okay.
Brian Jack's like, I'm not Danny Shea. I'm not 6'1" back here. Help me out.
No, he's not Shaq. It would have taken Shaq off. That was about 20 feet
That looks
high.
like that was drawn up. Eddie Capone had, I guess he was feeling a little bit of extra energy there.
Pointing out the back of the end zone. That one's over my head. We'll just let that one go.
Vinny was jacked on that one.
Yep. That's all right. That's about that's one of the few mistakes this Team USA has made in this one. And their special teams really hurt.
He needed to have a jackhammer to jump up and catch that one.
Special teams really hurt Team Europe early. That's to be expected in all-star games where you don't have much time to work. Players coming from 10 different countries in Europe to be represented. England, Sweden, Germany, Holland, Austria, France, Russia, Scotland. 6'4", 286-pound offensive lineman from Scotland. Spain and Finland. There's Vinny.
Guys joking around with Vinny. Vinny had like 177 tackles during the year.
What they're saying is, Vinny, you know, if you would have kept this going, we'd be over at your father's restaurant now having some pizza and sodas. Over Capone's dugout. Al Capone, of course, sponsoring the game here again this evening.
And also want to mention that, sorry guys, we mentioned the final. If folks come out 4 o'clock at Clearwater High School, they'll see Team Japan take on Team Europe in the consolation game. And let me tell you, you have to come out and see the Japanese play football. They are emotional. They never surrender. They do not give up. These guys can play.
It'll be a fun game. Here's a fine return right here. This is Winberg making a good return. He takes a huge pop from Jacques Saint-Ville. So
my ribs are hurting.
Oh, Johan Winberg with a good return, though, and showing some speed. And then Saint-Ville said, I've seen enough of this. And just crushes him at the end. But he jumped up, did Winberg. Tough guy.
How many superstars have really come out today? I mean, if you had to pick a team MVP for for the USA. Just so many people, and here you just see it opening up the middle. Winberg
Following his
well.
blockers, pushing him where to go, and ba-boom.
As he was landing, he got hit by St. Bell. Really didn't have time to avoid the hit.
Zimmerman from the 28 under pressure. Zimmerman just throws it and finds a receiver. Coming back nicely to the football on that far sideline is number 9, Marvin Allen, listed as a defensive back out of England. Is there a marker on the field? Yes, there is. Back near the line of scrimmage. Nice effort by Zimmerman. Way to come back to the football by Marvin Allen.
Director Ed Bacher might have been saying Achilles Houlis was his MVP, taking a shot at him on the sideline. Several players you could put in there. All right, Ed Bacher changes it. He wants Jack as his MVP. I think he just likes his name on the back of his jersey.
That is the classic name down there. And
I think it was the most valuable team effort tonight because obviously the practices, were not that emotional for Team USA, but I believe as Brian Syracuse, once you interviewed the kids, and they said once they got that Team USA jersey, they kind of went through a transformation and said, all right, this is the real deal. I mean, how many times are you going to be able to represent your country in any sport, much less football?
Chris Carruthers said, I feel like an Olympian. So
good opportunity for these young men, and the game being here obviously because of the Super Bowl. Travels to the Super Bowl sites and took the Pinellas County All-Stars. And there's Big Chris from Clearwater High playing one final game here at his stadium.
Not going too far to play college ball.
Stadium.
Going over to USF.
Joined a couple of Clearwater Tornadoes already over there.
Kenny Capona, we saw just earlier, is going to try to walk on over at USF.
Zimmerman under pressure, gets it away, and it's going to be intercepted by Sam Smith. Big pressure. Zimmerman just throwing it up for grabs, and it looked like, was it Freisleben or Tiert who had the big pressure? Evan Freisleben. And that is the end of the ball game as Sam Smith puts an exclamation point on it with an interception. 49-5. Your final score. And guys, again, everybody's watching this on Friday evening. Tomorrow night should be a great game against Canada. Canada, a big physical team with some athletic quarterbacks, and this USA team showed this evening they've got a little bit of everything.
In the earlier contest, do not forget Team Japan taking on Team Europe, and you mentioned the stars. It's just a team full of them out there for USA, whether it was Danielle Williams, then he seemed to take a back seat and they picked up somebody else to throw the football to.
Billy Henderson, Danielle Williams, Jay Davis, Aki Houlis, Andre Hall, everybody had a big game. Defensively, Wes Erb had a big game, as did Smith, and the man who just made the interception there at the end, and Middlebrooks. All right, Saturday, Team USA taking on Canada. We're going to wrap things up right now. 49-5, your final score, Team USA over Team Europe. For my broadcast partners, Brian Syracuse and Eric Keaton. Producer Brian Syracuse, Director Ed Bacher, everybody else here at the award-winning Time Warner Communications Sports Team. I'm Brian Unks. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you here tomorrow night for the championship contest.